Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Tuesday show. My name is James, and I am joined once again by the illustrious Stinkface David and Stinkface Tubo. What? Why is everyone? Look, I'm just telling you right now. It's my home where my cat just took an epic dump. Okay, I should be the one with the stink face on right now. Wait. People are saying David is muted? I hear David. Can people hear? They're all muted.
Broke it. I knew it all along.
What about now? Can people
Can you
hear?
guys?
What about now is the question.
Can people hear them now?
Can you hear me? Can
Can
you hear
people
me?
hear the? Oh, okay,
Uh-huh.
good.
Can you hear
There
me?
you go. Okay.
All right,
Ah.
everybody, welcome to the Tuesday show. My name is Stinkface David, and with me is Normal Face TuboWare. There it is. Big Happy Face TuboWare. How are you doing, Happy Face TuboWare?
You know, I'm great because Halo Infinite is an amazing title, and everyone should be playing it right now.
You have been
Except for
raving
right now.
about
Right
that
now, you
game?
can watch the stream, but after, you should go play Halo Infinite.
Correct. Forestall your Halo. All right, well, look, we have a lot of stuff to talk about. A lot of stuff to talk about, actually, as you can see on the side here.
Why?
Street Fighter
Why
5
did?
Luke.
Why do they do
Dude.
this to us, man? Why can't they spread the information out in nice chunks?
Massive dumps. They call them massive dumps.
They're calling them dumps. Yeah, of course, we have not had a tremendous amount of news to talk about lately, but now we have a tremendous amount. So, all right, here's a little rundown. We're going to be talking about Luke. Luke in Street Fighter V. There was just a whole spiel about it on the internet. I haven't had a chance to see it yet, so hopefully it'll be cool. The King of Fighters 15 beta happened over the weekend. We'll talk about our impressions. Project L, a little bit of info has come out about that. We'll talk about our impressions. We have an interview with Diaphone. We'll talk about our impressions. We also will be talking about MultiVersus and our impressions about that. We'll be talking about the Dungeon Fighter, and we'll be talking about even something else. Our impressions about it, probably.
Our impressions.
But
We're gonna talk about impressions about our impressions. So I think
Yeah.
let's start by talking about this fellow Luke. James, since I was busy all day and didn't actually see, what are we talking about?
Very interesting character. So obviously, I think all three of us are not too overly enthralled by his character design, like physical design. But what's interesting
I
right
think
now,
Luke is the coolest character I've ever seen. I don't know what you're talking about. I love Luke.
that real,
put a
or
pretty
is
straight
that-
face right there?
Luke is amazing. Are you kidding me? Have you seen his design?
I
It's
still
so
can't
good.
tell if you're being honest or not.
It's so good. Now you're making me laugh because you're not taking me at my word. I love it.
I actually am still not sure if you're being
I'm
honest or not.
confused as well.
Also, I subbed to Jake Paul on YouTube. He's my
Okay.
favorite.
Okay,
Um,
there we go. Now it's sarcasm.
Now you're being sarcastic? Boy,
Yeah.
you have thrown me for a loop, fellow.
Look,
I can't believe it.
Interestingly enough, though, the character design, I mean, he feels very pro-taggy, right? So they did admit that he is going to be a character in their future Street Fighter project, quote unquote. Oh, I wonder what that's gonna be, right? I mean, like I said, unless it's Street Fighter Alpha 4, like, it's probably going to be Street Fighter 6, and he's probably going to be the protagonist there. But sure enough, he's got a pseudo fireball, he's got a DP, he's got kind of a running attack, a forward movement attack. The interesting thing about it is all of his punches in neutral make him move forward. And he has the ability to like link off of a lot of these things. He's gonna be a whiff punishing nightmare because his buttons look like they reach hella far. And so my first thought was that I just don't want to see Punk play this character. Like, I think Punk's gonna kill everybody with this character. But honestly, the most interesting things were honestly the way his V trigger works and his V skill 2. His V skill 2 is really unique because it's a mini backswing blow. He just kind of goes back and then comes back forward. However, it triggers a similar slowdown as V shift on throws only.
It's a hard call out on throws specifically?
Yep, even command throws. They
Oh.
kept showing it on Alex's command throw. He would go, bzz, and then he would hit you and then be able to combo off of it.
So when you're waking up as Luke, you can either do V shift or V skill 2, depending on whether you think that they're
Well-
going to do an attack or a grab.
What they did say, however, was that the window at which it can evade throws isn't instant. So they actually claim, and this is their claim, that it's better on offense than it is on defense. It's like an automatic shimmy, basically. So in other words, like if you're plus frames,
Okay,
you
sure.
use it as an auto shimmy kind of thing. So maybe they're trying to use that to teach people to shimmy more or something. I don't know.
Interesting. Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
unique.
And then the V trigger is also really unique. Not since Nikali have we had a character that kind of does V triggers differently, but both of his V triggers are not timered. He activates it, they're full, and they stay full until you use the special power of the V trigger. Once you do that, it'll drain chunks, but as long as he's not doing anything like moving, it actually builds up again. And if he hits you with V skills, it looks like it builds up in chunks. And if you hit him, you start draining chunks off of it. So they showed you doing a combo on Luke while he was in V trigger, and you'll see the meter drain as he keeps getting hit. Now, what I speculated is we're going to be doing a lot of science on, is it dependent on damage, number of hits? If it's damage, does it scale? All this stuff. But what it feels like to me then is if you are fighting against Luke, you kind of want to save your meter until he activates. So that way, if you hit him, you can do all your cool EX combo extensions or V trigger cancels to do as much damage to his V meter as possible.
Interesting. That's definitely a different take. I mean, I haven't, like I said, I was too busy to have done the stream with James earlier where we looked at it. I haven't seen a single second of this yet. So I'm very curious, but I guess I'm not surprised to hear that he's got a bunch of unique stuff because that's kind of how they've been doing the last couple of years. The last couple of years have been a lot of the most unique characters in Street Fighter V have come out during that time. And they've made changes to characters from previous seasons during that time, making them more unique. So I think like that was my expectation, that even though I don't think he looks that cool, I did kind of think that they'd come out with something cool for him.
Right.
And it's cool that they did.
Yeah. What about you, Tubo? Anything stand out to you about the character?
I didn't get to see much of it. I was working still.
Yeah.
I had your stream up in the background. And I was mostly listening to you.
Okay.
And yeah, I didn't really see much. I saw maybe a few punchies. I didn't really know what his V skills did when I was watching because I tuned in so late.
The first V
mean,
skill is a power up, kind of like Balrog Dempsey roll kind of thing. So what's interesting is they did give him one technical execution combo system. He has a particular punch move. I forgot what they called it, but all of his moves seem to be based off of rocks and sand. Like he has a sand blaster, a rock smasher, and et cetera, et cetera. But he has one
He's
move
ground based, huh?
Yeah. So, okay, the best way to put it is, you know how Abigail, you can do back heavy punch, with the charge? One of his special moves is chargeable, and you can combo into the charged version, which gives you wall bounces or better juggles, but you can also hold it too long so it doesn't combo, is what I got out of it. And so there's going to be an execution factor there of learning how to cancel, like low fierce this move, hold it for just the right time so you actually get to the level 2, or not do a level 1 or not get it to combo. And then
That's cool. That makes sense.
Do we have the video?
Yeah, we can play the video, right?
We should watch that, right?
Oh, do you want to just watch? That's true. You guys haven't seen it. Let's just watch the whole damn thing.
We should watch.
Yeah, let's just watch the whole damn thing. Okay,
rather than imagining it with our imagination.
I have a great imagination. Okay.
I mean, but what's interesting is the charge up move makes it so that it's auto level 2 and he gains a level 3 on charges. So here we go. And obviously his story, they hint at it right here. I don't know what I should do for volume.
He wants to be a potato?
Go now!
What's he talking about?
I started to run like someone suddenly kicked me in the rear. But behind me, my father was...
Listen! Everyone needs to get away from here now! Move quickly! Run! 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 That's right! Just run! Go!
Until that incident, I thought... my father was just a simple, quiet, and reserved man. But that's not true. I was totally wrong. So now, I've decided to fight my own battle. Someday, I want to become a man like him.
And so that's all we get in terms of storyline. We have no idea who his father is.
Or what was happening.
Right. Now, here's my question. Obviously, this is like 40 minutes long, and we don't want to watch the whole thing, right? So we want to skip through this as much as possible.
The gameplay.
Okay, so here we go. Again, you know, they talked about the incident, but they're not saying what that incident is here.
Whatever, let's fast forward.
Yeah, we don't need the lore.
Okay, so here we go. Many attacks that will move himself where he advances forward. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mute this and I'm going to play it at a higher speed just so everything goes through a little bit faster as well. Let's do playback speed.
No, I would like to see what it looks like.
That's a good point. That's a good point. It'll look weird if I do it that way. Okay. So yeah. So again, all of his punches allow him to move forward while
You should mute it though, for sure.
Oh, mute it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Oh,
But
you
yeah.
guys.
But you see how all of his attacks make him move forward like this. And then they actually showed that like later on,
wow.
he can link off of a lot of these buttons too into combos. So he has a target combo like this. And he also has another target combo called the snapback combo. Tell me that isn't suspicious.
Huh.
No way. I'm not getting involved in those thoughts or rumors. It's not happening.
Right.
The next project that they're working on, huh?
Oops. Shoot, that's the wrong thing. I need to do this. Okay. So yeah, so at crush counter, he gets crush counter, but his only gets crush counter on his unique button. So he has a unique towards heavy punch and towards heavy kick, which cause crush counters. The outlaw kick is a crumple, as you can see here. Blap is a crumple, but it doesn't hit crouchers, as they say. Oh yeah, so here's the example, I think, of them showing boom, link. See, look at the range on that. Dude, look at
that's
the
far.
like that's far. This is what I mean by I feel like Punk is gonna kill everybody with this character. So
Yeah,
you
that's
can
cool.
go into his target combo. So after crush counters, you can connect that. Outlaw kick doesn't hit crouching people. Yeah, you can crush
pretty
people.
standard.
This is a knockdown as well too, and clearly you'll see on one example here, it definitely looks like he can juggle afterwards in the corner. See how he dashed before he hit the ground? So in the corner, I'm pretty sure you're going to be able to juggle with something over here. So he has this Sand Blaster, the Rising Rocket, so Fireball.
What's the Sandblaster? I don't even know what that is.
Sandblaster is his fireball, looks like.
okay.
Yeah, it's just
Okay.
the Fireball here. So Rising is just an anti-air. And then he has the Avenger, which allows him to do a shoulder or an overhead, which is pretty straightforward, you know, which seems like a common thing that they are doing with a lot of these characters, right? So there you go. He has an overhead follow-up off of that. So this is the one, Flash Knuckle. That's the light version. He's got the medium version, and then he's got the heavy version right there. This is the move that you can charge up. So if you hold it, all of a sudden, let's see if they show the charged up versions here. Oh yeah, and it's hard to counter when guarded. So apparently these are going to be very good from like, look at that. He can block after the heavy one? What the hell? And so if you hold the button down, you get a launch and you get a juggle afterwards. And if you charge this one, you get a wall bounce, you get a juggle afterwards. And if you charge the heavy one, it's also plus on block as well.
Okay. Sick.
So So let's see. It allows you to perform a follow attack, and for H, it allows you to make the first move even on block. So boom, haha! I get to go first, basically.
Right.
But so here they're saying if you have like crouching heavy punch, you can combo into the charge version. It allows you to execute the combo, but you have to release the button. Involving combos that involve the charge version of the Flash Knuckle feels great and inflicts a lot of damage. So yeah, so what I think that means is that there's a potential to charge, see, to get used to use the charge version. So I'm assuming that it makes it so that if you hold it for too long, it won't combo. There's no verification of that.
Get the heavy version.
Yeah, there's no verification of that. So here's his other costume. Yeah, so here's the V skill stuff. The first V skill here is just he powers up. So he does the whole like, so if he actually uses it, automatically he gets the level 2.
Did he get popped by 4 arms?
Did he? Oh,
Also, I
you're
can hear
right, he
myself yelling
does.
in your mic, James.
What's that?
I can hear myself in your mic.
Oh, can you?
Like,
Are you?
yeah,
Do you
coming
have?
from your speakers or whatever?
It looks like they just burn red.
My speakers are off. Do you have your OBS audio on?
Yeah, man. I mean, no, I have the same setup I always have.
I mean, you have your OBS Ninja on. Tubo had to like pause and unpause his as well.
I had to
Nobody else can hear it.
double
Let's just
mine.
continue. It's no big
Okay, yeah, no problem. Boof. But then if you charge it, now you actually get a level 3 version,
Okay.
which is even stronger. So yeah, here we go. So now it's like 2 hits. Oh yeah, see there, now you get a
and you can
combo
juggle there
afterwards.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Okay. Pretty cool.
Yeah, and then boom. So that can't be juggled afterwards, but if you charge it and do the full level 3, now you can, and boom, blah, 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 blah. So that's...
Yeah, pretty cool.
So then V skill 2 is called Suppressor, and there you go, mini backswing blow. Woo! Like that, right?
Oh, wow. Yeah, very many. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but...
That's so weird. Okay.
But is it safe on block?
That's a good question. That's a really good question. I don't know. We might see
Yeah,
it.
if it's not, then right, it's probably not going to be
auto bad. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
auto bad.
absolutely.
If that's not
Right.
safe, completely safe on block, that's auto bad.
It definitely needs to be safe. I agree.
Yeah, but it's really odd here. So yeah, look at this. This is weird. But it can be canceled in the specials, basically.
It's
so,
like a guard point, but only for throws.
yeah,
Right, yeah.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah,
If this were seasons 1 through 4, or 1 through 3, I would be like, yeah, that's not safe. But now, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised.
so
if it
here you
is
go.
safe.
See
If
his
it's
timer?
not safe,
Look at
it'll
his
be
timer.
safe.
See how
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
going
yeah.
up? Do you see that? His timer's not going anywhere. It activates, and now his timer's going up slightly. And then he activates, going up slightly.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah,
Oh,
see how it's
weird.
still going
Cool.
up a little bit. But if Rashid hits you, look, it's draining. And it looks like it's pretty equal chunks with each hit, maybe? It's hard to tell.
Could be, yeah, could be.
So you might want to do multi-hitting moves to punish it.
So this V-trigger gives him a really fast fireball. Wow, super fast, actually.
Well, they'll go into the V-triggers a little bit more here. So,
Oh, okay.
so fully armed allows him to use his projectile move called the Rock Smasher and Thermobaric Thrash.
All right. It's Hyperborean Jokul stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, it lets him get that fireball, but then once he gets the if you hit with like a special version of it, it's only off of EX Sandblaster that gives you that. That's the Thermobaric Smash right there.
Okay.
Yeah, and his jump is very
it looks like
awkward
maybe
looking.
better zoning. He's got some better combos out of it too. Ooh, super weird jump.
That is the ugliest jump I've ever seen.
super.
Yeah,
I thought he
oh.
was doing a jump instant fierce like the first 3 times
He
I
does
saw
a
that.
frog leap.
Yeah, a lot of people were saying it might be the ugliest jump ever in Street Fighter.
It's
might be.
hideous. That's hideous. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Okay, so let's see. V skill 1 enhanced, yeah, blah 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 blah. Okay, V skill 2. Did we? Did I miss V skill 2? I think I did.
You're the director.
I mean V
Yeah,
trigger
man,
2. Oh, here we go. Yeah.
Here,
There's
right there, it's happening.
Yeah, so from a flash knuckle into another flash knuckle of a different strength. Okay, right. Gotcha. Yeah, at this point in time, I forgot what this one did because I was too busy marveling over the timer situation.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I guess he can just now chain flash knuckles, basically. Okay, so it's just basically the combo extender. So here's just a little showcase of cool stuff that he does here. Boom. Link, activate, beat up Rashid. Rashid was kind of supposed to be like the new protagonist of this game, right? And
I think he was. Yeah, that never happened. It's just like with Alex, like it never happened.
Yeah, basically.
And whoever was in Street Fighter 4, Abel. Yeah, nobody cares about that.
Yeah, exactly.
He didn't even come back. Well, he's in the story mode of 5,
Right, yeah.
so that's cool.
Oh man. Yeah.
So weird
they're
to build a character model and never put him in the game as playable.
So that wraps up this aggressive character who
Interesting,
rushes
yeah.
the opponents down. And then, of course, they give us the match here.
Well, why would you ever get hit by the run into overhead? I'm very curious.
It's a good question, dude.
What's the mix-up there? I don't know. Maybe we'll see.
I know, if you can't run and stop, what's the point, right?
Yeah.
So do you want to watch
Oh, hey,
this
can you
match?
volumize it now?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's
sure.
watch it. Yeah.
Okay.
Sick.
So that stand medium kick looks really good.
Yeah, his jump is uggo.
The rest of him, though, honestly, I like a lot of what I'm seeing in terms of like how he looks.
Yeah, that standing medium
Well,
kick,
maybe
it looks...
maybe not. Actually, the kicks I think are pretty.
Well,
good.
that standing
But
medium kick looks exactly like an MMA kick, though. Like, that's
Okay.
a real MMA kick that we see for sure. So they're definitely... See, like that side kick is definitely an MMA kick.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I mean, this looks pretty fun, actually. Oh, you
Hey,
can zone with him, maybe?
Off to the left.
Yeah, they mentioned that earlier. They're like, he can do this while zoning. Counter hit off of stand medium kick combo. There's what his V shift looks like and his V break looks like. Here's his V reversal.
Hey, James, can you move your mouse to the left a bit?
Oh, yeah, sorry. There you go. Look at that link, dude. Ugh.
Oh.
And I love how Capcom even acknowledges that their KO is way too long. That in these things, they don't even let it linger.
Good. Oh my god, I'm gonna get hit. I'm gonna think that he's doing a jump instant fierce for the first like 10 times I play against this character.
We're gonna put mods in there to change his jump animation, I swear. Yeah, I still haven't seen the player 1 use the V skill on block yet.
Yeah, maybe that's how MMA people actually do their 20-foot tall jumps. Is that maybe that's like real life?
That
how it
may
is?
be, actually. That could very well be.
The cage actually doesn't have a door, so you have to frog leap into the cage. That's
Okay, for
traditional
sure.
Yeah,
for
they show-
UFC fights.
Oh.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I think they probably wanted to do more of like a quote. Oh, look at that little hoppy kick there. I wonder what button that was.
Ooh, punishable. Okay.
I mean, to be honest with you, he doesn't look as bad as I originally thought he did outside of
I
this
agree.
jump.
I agree.
Well, they had like 6 more months to work on him.
Yeah. for
Nope.
sure.
Nope. Oh, you mean than everybody else, right?
Yeah, I mean, like they announced him like 6 months ago. And
Right. Yeah.
No,
Exactly.
they've been putting a lot of work into the
Right.
character, I'm sure.
Sure. Yeah.
It's just
I
cool.
feel like I might enjoy just like controlling that 1/2, 2/3 screen range of the fireball range. It's pretty cool.
And here's a super. And we're gonna get Street Fighter 4 funny faces. So there you
Well,
go.
all right, man. That's cool.
So
you know,
just to finish some stuff up really quick, they've announced that Capcom Cup 8 will be in February,
It's a week long.
and they announced that it's going to be a week-long event. If I can find that, there you go, a week-long celebration. So I don't know what that's going to be. They talked about exhibitions, a last chance qualifier, so it's going to be pretty crazy. Yeah, this could be a send-off to 5, honestly.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Maybe.
Right.
Yeah, I can see that.
So here's this. So one of the cool things, so they showed off the Brawlhalla characters as well.
Oh, yeah.
It looks like they have unique moves, but Tubo, you said that's not the case, right?
They are. So in Brawlhalla, you can go in training mode and try out the DLC. You don't have to buy it. You can use it in
that's
training
cool.
mode. So I reinstalled the game because, as you guys know, I used to be a pretty avid Brawlhalla player. Yeah, they're definitely like all the other crossover characters. They're not their own characters. They are reskins of existing characters in the roster. However, when they do these type of reskins, like these really highly detailed reskins, the hitboxes are all the same of the other attacks. The frame data is the same, but they put like cool overlays over these special attacks to make them look unique. Like you're gonna see like the teleport there from Akuma and the uppercuts and things like that. Those are all unique to the visuals, unique to the skin. So it makes you feel like you're actually playing Akuma or Ryu.
But the hitboxes are the same as everybody else of the analogous move, right?
They're the function is the same.
Right. Yes.
Right.
the
That's
best
a
way
really
of
cool
putting
idea.
it.
I like that.
And that's a neat little mode there that.
That character that Ryu's fighting is actually the character that he's the reskin of.
Okay, got it.
That makes sense.
They're the same guy. This Ryu has a skin over it that says Shoryuken and Hadouken.
Right. That's a good idea. That's cool.
Yeah, it's cool. It's really
Before
cool.
we end this, so Luke will be coming out Monday.
Oh, wow.
So Luke is coming out Monday. And then what's also really cool here is they said this is the last update that they have. So yeah, here, Luke is an important character who will be featured in the next Street Fighter project. So we hope you try him out when he's released in Street Fighter 5.
Okay.
But one of the coolest things they did here, like, this is really cool. You guys should just watch this.
I've seen this, but I won't ruin it for David.
Okay.
ストリートファイター5のデジタル番組をスタートしてもう1年、経ちましたが、中山さんいろいろ発表ありましたね。
そうですね。毎回ユーザーさんの発表内
He's got a cool mustache.
見せていただいて、開発メンバー一同本当にモチベーションアップにつながりました。皆様の温かいサポート本当にありがとうございます。
こういった形でユーザーの皆さん
I mean, shout outs to them, by the way. This has been really cool this season that they've done.
嬉しかったです。今回でストリートファイター5のデジタル番組最終回となってキャラクターのリリースもこれが最後となりますが、このタイトルの運営はもちろん引き続きサポートしていきます。
ストリートファイター5は我々にとって
Lots of valleys. I said that early on. Lots of valleys.
我々開発メンバーはこの経験を糧にして次のプロジェクト
It's
に
just like a floodplain and then mountains, in my opinion.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, if you ask me, it's just flat and then there's a mountain.
Yeah.
And then, they plateau on the top of the mountain.
Huh, okay. So more information, just not more characters, huh?
Yeah. But check this
皆さ
out
んご
here.
視聴ありがとうございました。これからもよろしくお願いします。
More information will come at Capcom Cup, I'm sure.
That makes sense,
さ
yeah.
よなら。
We'll talk about all that in a bit.
Check
Bye
this.
bye. All right.
Love you, bye.
Watch.
They got cool looks,
Watch.
man. I like those guys.
ストリートファイター5サマーアップデートへようこそ。
今回最初に発表させていただくキャラクターは
My boy.
最強流の使い手ダンになります。
Oh, we know he's your boy.
Oh my god, he looks incredible!
Oh, he's got. Oh, dude.
Oh my god, that looks so
What?
annoying. Oh, I love it.
Oh, nah, Dan is sick, bro.
Rose.
That was cool. With my horrible hair
Oh
from
my
COVID
god,
times.
what? Bruh.
What in the world is happening?
So different and interesting.
I would say that's such a backhanded compliment.
Yeah, I know.
So different and interesting.
Yeah, she's
Sick and creative.
She's different because she's interesting.
Right.
This looks so hard to learn.
私立ジャスティス学園から風間明が参戦することになりました。
Rival schools, yes! They went above and beyond! But there's the benefit, like a 2-use Nadeshiko V-trigger.
Oh, James was into it, yeah.
You're into it, yeah.
Oh no, I'm the same person.
What? What did I just see happen?
Was that the new mechanic?
I love the way it visually looks.
Oh my god. Oh my god. This is gonna change everything.
What a nice
cool.
presentation.
Absolutely.
That was an update and a half.
Leave me alone.
I give it a 10 out of 10.
Passed.
That was nice. I give Capcom that.
Capcom reveals is godlike.
I thought that was really a nice touch. I thought that was cute. Although I cringed at my own clapping of the Akira air combos.
Oh, that was very cute. That was very cute. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
All right.
All right. Right. Yeah.
Well-
So there's been like a co-streaming program where we've been like allowed to stream, right? And this is cool. Yeah. I think that they made really good use of that. That's cool.
First
Thank
and foremost, Capcom, you'll be hearing from my lawyer. You did not have the rights to use that Ultra Chen TV footage. David, I need you to reach out. We know that they're profiting off of our faces, and we need to be paid appropriately for it. Well, not mine. I wasn't in it. But you're my boys, and I want you two to be paid appropriately
I feel
for
like it was covered, actually.
I've actually been already paid. They paid me the big bucks.
Yep. Well,
I already got the big bucks.
I'm
Also,
sure it
shout outs
wasn't
to me
big
for
bucks.
saying exactly the same thing 6 months ago.
Dude, I know, right? That was hilarious, actually. But again, I
I
know
feel like that's not the first time that's happened. But yeah, he looks cool. Luke looks actually, in terms of mechanics, cool.
Right.
And in terms of how he looks, not as bad as I had originally thought.
just
So,
just
all right.
that jump, man. But there you go. That's Luke. And again, we covered a lot of the other things. Capcom Cup announced as a week-long event. We have no idea where it's going to be or who's working it or anything like that. So hopefully we'll all get a chance to be
oh,
involved.
they didn't contact. Never mind.
Yeah, I don't know.
yeah?
I don't know.
All right. Buddy. Oh, you didn't get the email, huh?
Oh, right. Gotcha.
Imagine Capcom emailing me, the guy who just shit all over Luke. Yeah, that's a good email.
Well, it's because the next Street Fighter project is Street Fighter versus.
Brawlhalla.
Don't say it.
I'm
Don't
not even
do
going to
it.
complete it.
Don't
yeah.
do it.
Oh,
Don't do
versus-
it.
I won't do it.
Street Fighter versus
Anyway, it looks
Snapback.
cool. I'm in. We'll have more about him
Okay.
to say next week, I guess.
Yeah, we definitely
This will
went
be
over
out.
the time, but that's because I wasn't expecting to watch the video. So we'll try to
Yeah.
do the next ones a little bit shorter here.
I'd
That's-
also like to point out real quick that Happy Chaos comes out on the same day as Luke.
Wow.
So you guys are really going to have a really easy decision to go play Happy Chaos. I mean, there could be an easier decision there between those two.
You
Happy
can enjoy
Chaos looks
yourself.
amazing.
You
I'll
have a great
definitely
time.
check out both. I'm excited. Look,
Yeah,
it's
I
funny because
will definitely
I'm
try out
actually
both,
the one excited for both here. Okay, look.
I will definitely try out both as well, for sure.
Man.
Okay, we move on.
King
we
of
gotta
Fighters beta this past week in public beta. So just to start off, I played the shit out of this thing. What were your guys'? Did you guys get a chance to play at all or anything?
I played only for maybe an hour. I had
Okay.
CPT commentary this weekend and also a lot of work of the same kind. That was why I didn't get to see stuff earlier today.
Gotcha,
So I
gotcha.
just didn't really have much time, but I did want to make sure that I got at least a little bit of time in with it. I also watched more. I had your stream on in the background whilst I was doing some other stuff, for example.
Mm-hmm.
So it was cool. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. What about you, Tubba?
I couldn't be bothered to hook up my PS4. So
Yeah, and plus, if you didn't have PS Plus, you couldn't get on. That was a bug
I still
all
have PS
weekend.
Plus.
Okay.
I still have it anyway, so I'd be good there. No, but I did watch people stream. I watched way more YouTube content than I wanted to admit about it.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
Because I was really curious about the netcode. And I didn't get to play it. I only know what other people said. James, did you get to play online at all?
Yes, and so the netcode is kind of an interesting one. And again, so glad they're doing a beta. So glad they're doing a beta because the netcode was definitely hit and miss. But as we discovered, so for example, we tried to play Corey Bell in San Diego. We're here in Santa Monica. We're both in Southern California. It was pretty bad. Like, the rollbacks were not very good. Then I played somebody in Montreal, and then we played somebody in Wisconsin, and it was fantastic. It was amazing. And what we discovered is actually there was a bug, apparently, that, and I think they knew about this too. The PS4 vanilla doesn't play well with PS4 Pro and PS5. Oh. And we're on Kitty's PS5. And Corey was on PS4 vanilla, whereas the guy we played in Canada was on PS5. And I believe the guy in Wisconsin was either on Pro or 5 or something like that. So when we had the right hardware, it was actually working. Now, there were still desyncs. Even in the PDF they released, they're like, if rollback occurs during throw animations and or in certain situations, it will cause desyncs and stuff like that. There was definitely one side of it was very flawed, right? It was, when it was good, it was like the best thing that KOF has ever had in terms of mainstream game, not counting the Code Mystics upgrades. When it was bad, it felt very Street Fighter 5-ish. Like, it was just like, when it's bad, it's like, God, I just don't even want to play this. Like, I can't hit confirm because it's like hit, and then like sound effects were disappearing, like lots of little problems here and there. But like I said, when it worked, and that's again why it was great that we have a beta, because now they can find out about these things and try to fix them, right? So I hope they can fix a lot of those things, and they even said in their PDF, if needed, they will do a second beta. And considering the fact that the bug, it wasn't supposed to be that PS4 players without PS Plus couldn't even get into the game. Like, they couldn't even get past the title screen. They admitted that was a mistake. And so a bunch of people got locked out of the demo that weren't supposed to. So I have a funny feeling they'll probably try to make up for that with another beta, which would be neat if they put in other characters or whatever like that. But for the most part, my impressions, the game looks way better in motion. Now, they were really smart that 5 of the 8 characters are brand new to the game, so they're definitely ones with more care, and they didn't put in Whip and King and make you just kind of go, what the hell, right? I mean, like, it was CYS, Dolores, and Chizuru, who all look really, really good in the game. But I think the best way to describe how everybody, like, what the general impression was, is that the KOF players out there are all suffering from withdrawals. They're all really sad that the beta is over. And like, even Hell Pockets was like, oh wait, I want to try this combo. Oh, wah, 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 brr, And one of the Freenel, who's huge into KOF, said this has the potential to be the best KOF of all time, because of how well that they're looking at the mechanics. 14 had the problem, all the EXs were locked under max mode. Max mode only cost 1 bar. All everybody did was confirm into max mode, and it was like, but max mode now takes 2 bars. EXs are half a bar. You can use them anytime you want. It adds a lot of flavor to the game. And just from playing it, like, I don't have a lot of KOF experience, but it felt really fluid. Like, the movement felt good. It felt like there was something about it. Like, I don't want to say KOF 14 was an extremely jank game, depending on who you talk to, right? But like, I made the comparison from CVS 1 to CVS 2. Like, there's people who like CVS 1 more aesthetically, music, graphics, etc., etc. Yep. But CVS 2 felt like a finished product. You know what I mean? Like, it felt like a finished product. And that's kind of how this feels to me right now. When I play 15, it felt like a finished product, and it had a lot of really neat features, least of all which is a background contrast option.
That was cool. I saw that.
I was like, thank you. I mean, you can literally set it to 0 and the background is black. Like, it's just gone. But it's just nice for those people who have trouble, colorblind players, maybe.
It's a good accessibility option. That was cool.
Or for those people who want to set up green screens within the actual match. That's my first thought. I'm going to have them playing on weird places, folks.
Oh, man.
How are you going to know where the corner is?
I don't know. Whatever.
But I mean,
yeah, but I think that's a cool mode too.
yeah, right now, what's really cool is between the 8 characters, they all felt really good. Like, clearly, it seems like universally everyone thinks that Yashiro and Dolores felt the best and, like, maybe need to be toned down a little bit. But nobody felt bad. And so, like, I mean, even in terms of the TGS showcase, when Oda was like, yeah, we saw that max mode was a little too powerful and all everybody did was fish for it, so we wanted to tweak it. Like, it feels like they're coming into this one with a little bit more intent on good balance and such. And I don't know, I really enjoyed it. I played like I said, I don't have a lot of experience. I played Kyo, Iori, and Chizuru, 3 characters who I don't really have any vested interest in, but I enjoyed them. Like, I really liked playing them, and I thought it was really fun. And like I said, everybody who is a KOF fan, I mean, like, after the Guilty Gear beta, all the Guilty Gear veterans are like, what? Oh God, this doesn't.
Yeah.
And like,
yeah.
In this one, like, all the KOF veterans are happy, which does mean there will be the problem of when the game comes out, all the KOF veterans are going to kill everybody first.
I mean, you know,
That was
But
going to happen regardless.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, for sure.
Nothing was stopping that anyways. It's still very much a KOF game.
yeah. So I think I really enjoyed it. I was surprised at how much I enjoyed the game.
Cool, man. I just went into training mode. I didn't have time to play online, so
Howard.
I guess I could have. Why not? I don't know. But I wanted to see what Dolores was about. She seems like an interesting character to me. I will say that her graphics, the Mud Man or whatever she summons, that kind of stuff, a lot better looking in person. Like, I've seen it. I've seen it on the Twitch and on the YouTube, and I think it is not looking too good. But in person, it definitely looks better. It reminds me of KI in that way, where just like seeing it in person is just like a different story than seeing it, Dude, all.
Remember Street Fighter
online.
4 when the pictures first came out versus in motion? Street Fighter 4, everyone was complaining how ugly that game looked in pictures, and then in motion.
Yeah, they were right about
People,
that.
yeah, I would say I feel like most people never stopped complaining.
Yeah, the
how
very
that
first
game
night that
looked.
we saw that game, we were like, yeah, this game's not too great looking. But anyway, yeah, Muck, right? So I think she seems cool. She probably can do some of what I'm interested in fighting games. So I think that makes sense. I tried Shermie out, obviously, for command grabbing, and that she seems like a cool character too. The couple KOFs that I have played didn't have Shermie in them. So I mean, I've heard what she's about, but I never have played a game that she's in. But yeah, she seems like the kind of, again, like very grab heavy, good movement sort of character that I think could be cool. And then other than that, I tried Chizuru out for a little bit just to be like, what's this character do?
Weird, dude.
Yeah, that was my feeling. Yeah, like funky like teleport slash like run stop shenanigans or whatever. So I think that all the characters I looked into seemed cool. When I watched people playing, it looked like the game was fast and fun and had a bunch of interesting options. And so, yeah, I mean, I came away from it kind of wishing that I had a little bit more time to try it out. But I would say I feel positive about it.
Yeah, the meter management aspect of the game is really interesting. And interestingly enough, like, the execution is kind of hard in that game. The canceling from supers to like other supers, and there's a lot of like very one frame heavy things. Like Iori has this great combo, but you gotta cancel fireball quarter circle forward into quarter circle back, half circle forward in the fastest time possible, which is not going to be accessible to a lot of people. But at the same time, what's nice about the game though is I feel like I haven't played this kind of game in a while. Maybe Strive, actually. Strive might be the last one that has this, but there's a lot of moves that nowadays in fighting games would be like minus 16 that are just like safe on block. Like Kyo down forward kick where he does the double low and is like the longest reaching sweep that he has. Like if you block it, you can't punish that, like it just felt cool. Nice. But it also was very ST-like, in which everything you do pushed people further away. There were very few situations where, it's like you're next to each other. And if they were, it was obviously you're punishable. Like it's just very clear you're punishable. But like Dolores had a block string that just ended up, she's minus and punishable, but you're half a screen away. So there's nothing you can really do about it. And so the game even though the combos are really hard at low levels, it's actually kind of one of those fun to smash on button games. And I got a lot of people in my chat coming in here being like, yeah, this is the first KOF I've played. I'm having a great time. Like, you know,
really?
I just feel like I'm having fun because I get to do things, you know, and invincible DPs are invincible. Like, now that I played Iori, Kyo, and Chizuru,
Invincible DPs are invincible? No way.
yeah, all three of those characters have invincible DPs. I'm so reliant on them now. I don't think I can play a character without them anymore. Yeah, auto combos are still annoying, but they're always going to be kind of that bone to be thrown in.
Well, what's
fighting
the
games.
deal with auto combos? Are they? Do you have to finish them once you start them? Can you do 3 hits and stop and confirm? Are they punishable on block? Are they say like, what's the deal? Tell me about the auto combos.
What's interesting is that there's 4 different versions of the auto combos actually. So you can hit AA. So as long as you do AA to initiate the auto combo, the third hit is any button. And then the 4th button that you use determines what comes out of it. So if you have 3 bars, AAAA goes into your level 3 climax. AAAB will go into a special move. AAAC goes into a level 1 super, and AAAD goes into a level 2 super. So regardless of how much meter you have, you can kind of choose which one you want to go into. If you don't have meter on some,
depending on, right?
Yeah, depending on how much meter. Yeah, like
can you like start an auto combo from like a 2A, or do you have to be neutral?
If you link it, yeah, you can do 2A. You can do 2A, then stand AAA. You can't start it from 2. It's only 5A that does it. But you can like chain 2A into 5A into auto combo. There's no extra scaling on it. And some people said it seems particularly good for, some characters, like for example, Shermie's level 3 climax is an anti-air super. But if you do AAAA, it just works. It just grabs the grounded guy. They just don't care. They just let it work. So for her, it's an easy way to get to her level 3, for example, if you just need to finish somebody off instead of trying to do some fancier combo.
Sure.
But, I don't think it'll be particularly useful at the highest levels outside of very few specific situations like most of the games are these days.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
But
again, I'm looking forward to them having another one. I guess the actual game comes out in only a few months at this point, so it's not too long. But
3 months.
Yeah, 3 months. But yeah, it would be cool if they had another one. I'd love to spend more time playing it.
Yeah. But the main thing to come out of this one is that the characters all felt really good. It looks better in motion than I expected it to, and all the KOF players seem to be extremely happy and excited about the game, which is really, really cool because, I don't feel like we've had that in a while. That the scene itself is happy after playing the beta.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
All right, cool. Anything else to say on it?
You put in an extra note in the document. What was that about? I clicked on the link that the whole shares thing or something about it.
The shares? The shares?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it was just a little bit of research that somebody did that indicated that maybe the Saudi company that bought it doesn't own stock in SNK anymore. But that also might not be right because maybe that website is not reliable. In conclusion,
okay.
Up in the air. I don't really know.
Gotcha. Okay. So basically...
Yeah, I actually meant to take that out of there because I then learned that it may not be accurate.
Oh, okay.
But I just forgot before we started.
Okay. Never mind then. Okay.
Unknown. All right,
Unknown
cool.
entity.
So let's do you want to just switch the timing of Diaphone and the Project L? Do you want to just try to hit up Project L real quick?
Yeah, let's do Project L real quick.
Yeah, I'll zoom through Project L.
Yeah.
All right. So we finally got new information for Project L. I'm assuming you guys all watched the videos, right?
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah. So a new trailer came out finally where Tom and Tony got to talk a little bit more about the game and their philosophy and such. What did you guys think of the trailer?
Well, I thought it was really nice. I liked a lot of what they said, certainly, just to talk about that side of things first. they were very reassuring. I mean, they're people who I trust anyway. And then the way that they talked about the game was that it wasn't that they were trying to dumb anything down or make it so that new players can win easily or whatever, but nevertheless that they were making it so that the game has easier commands, which is fine. I'm sure that I guess we have in fact seen ways to balance that already, so why not have another stab at that? I thought that was cool. And then the focus that they have on the online play, I think is great. It's not surprising. I mean, that's the origin of GGPO anyway. It was like Tony's work. So I think that makes a lot of sense. And the fact that Riot is behind them and that they get to use like Riot servers and stuff could be very, very beneficial as well. So I liked all of that. And as far as the actual game, so I expected it to be something. Well, I certainly didn't expect it to be a team game. Let me say it like that. But I did expect for it to be something between Rising Thunder and a real grimy type of like mixy game. And the reason is that in part Rising Thunder was that way, but also in part the other people I know are working on that game, I feel like they would not make a game that's like boring. Like just like to know them. Yeah. I just think that'd be surprising. So I didn't have any other insight into it other than that, but
and to be fair, Tom and Tony
what they got seems pretty cool.
Yeah, Tom and Tony were huge fans of Guilty Gear. Like Marvel was always some of their favorite games at EVO. You know, Marvel 3 and Marvel 2, they loved all the time. And so, you know,
what other FGC people are working on it? I mean, it's a pretty long list, to be honest, but there's a lot of Guilty Gear players, Marvel players are involved with that, anime players are involved with that, and as well as people who've just played everything. So.
Right. Yeah, I didn't know Unconquerable was there. I saw that he tweeted out and was like, I'm a project lead. And I was like, what? Like 16-bit was saying. So that's actually really cool. But
yeah, dude, the game, obviously in terms of looks, they're still working on that, but I already think that it looks pretty cool. And I like that they went through the character whose name is Echo. I don't know anything about League at this point, but he has like funky time mechanics that are clearly going to lead to absolutely absurd mix-ups. Clearly. Like day one, people are going to be doing wild mix-ups with that character, which is cool. I'm excited for it. I don't know. What about you, Brock?
I want to get James's thoughts first because I'm going to go off on a whole different tangent than
you got it.
Where the conversation is going right now. So I want to hear what James has to say first.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, from graphic standpoints early on, like you could tell, I think it was running at like 30 frames per second or something like that. So it didn't look particularly smooth. That's going to get ironed out. I've heard some people complain about that part, but that's definitely going to get ironed out once the game comes out. I love the fact that they have it set up to be a team game. I mean, that makes more sense to me. It's League of Legends. Like, right? I mean, it feels like it makes more sense that way. Again, obviously it feels like, you know, thanks for the information dump and then we'll see you again in like 6 months or something like that. But, you know, obviously I trust Tom and Tony a lot. I've listened to a lot of their philosophy with things. And so I'm eager to see how the game turns out. Yeah, I mean, I'm just glad we're finally getting some more information about it. I think that's really, really cool. And look, you have Riot budget and like the things that you can do. I mean, look what NRS can do, right, with Warner Brothers budget. So I got to imagine Riot budget is going to allow them to make a pretty nice game.
I'm going to play Blitzcrank Thresh, and I'm going to be doing command grab mix-ups, and I'm going to have both of them will have assists they're yoinks. I'm going to be yoinking people from the assist. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Oh, you don't think that's going to happen?
I just don't know who a Blitzcrank.
I don't know anything about it. Those are two characters I remember from when I played the game many years ago.
Never played League, so.
I think the only character I played was like Caitlyn or something like that because she had a move that was easy to run away with. What's your take, Brock?
Can blink. My take, I guess I'll talk about that first. My take was, looks cool. I like that Tom and Tony addressed netcode right away, just to get that conversation. Like, it was really obvious, right, that the Riot fighting game was going to have good netcode headed by Tom and Tony Cannon.
Right.
Very obvious, but some people still might have doubts for whatever reason. So I'm glad that they addressed that right away. The gameplay that they showed looked cool. I I think the closest comparison we probably have right now is BB Tag.
Yeah.
It looked very BB Tag to me, where you can switch your characters. It's 2v2. You have several assists per character. It looked like as well. The easy inputs seem nice to me. I don't see an issue with that. And that's kind of where I wanted to go off on a tangent. I'm seeing so many people. All right, hella reactions for this game, right?
Yeah.
The number, like the top 3 reactions I'm seeing are team games are stupid. It's too much. It's too hard. Sure, I understand that. Easy inputs will not take a hold of the FGC. So FGC people aren't going to like it because of easy inputs. We'll talk about that in a second. And the third one is I can't wait to gatekeep the LoL players.
Right.
The first one is totally fine. I understand team games are hard. Yes, you are going to get mixed. Good luck. You're right. Team games are hard. I love team games. I'm a big Marvel guy. Weird. So I'm excited about that aspect. I really have missed playing a game where I have an assist character, or I play more than one character, really. I've been playing Guilty Gear Strive. So I really miss my fix on that. So I'm excited for that. The number 2 thing, whatever. If you really think that simplified inputs are going to keep any fighting game player from playing the game, you're a silly human. You're a real silly person. That's just...
Yeah, and one
I
thing...
think that was proven with Grand Blue. I think it was proven even with Rising Thunder. Fighting game players are not turned off by the easy inputs. If anything, it just makes more players want to try out the games, which, if you are not weird, you want people to play your game, which is where this whole gatekeeping thing comes from.
Right. Well,
First off,
before you
go
move
ahead.
on that, I just want to add to the simplified input things too as well. You can have a complex game with simplified inputs, right? I mean, just because of that doesn't mean that the execution is going to be easy. See Smash Brothers Melee.
Yeah,
right?
I'll say, imagine saying Smash is easy.
Right, exactly. So there's it just depends on how you want to design the game. If the game is designed with it in mind, there's lots of cool things they could do with it. So, and they already showed some of the crazy combos and setups that people were doing. So I'm not worried. Rising Thunder had some pretty complex stuff too. So I'm not super worried
Rising
about
Thunder
it.
was hella fun too.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, go on. Sorry.
And the third thing is I see, a lot of people, I can't wait to gatekeep. Cool, man, tell your jokes. But the truth is you want these people playing this game. You want new players playing your game. You want these people coming in and trying your shit out and going, oh my God, I got my ass kicked. That was so cool. I want to play again. You want those players. You want them to not feel alienated because they have to do a quarter circle forward motion. It's not going to separate bad players from good players just because you can do a DP motion and they can't. I'm sorry. That's not realistic. If it was true, then, then picking up Ryu in Smash would make you an automatic god because you can do a DP motion, right? And it's not what separates good players from bad players. So stop getting horny to gatekeep new players from playing your game. It's weird. It's exclusionary. Just stop it. Welcome new players in. And also, to top it off, like what Sajam said, a lot of you people out there saying, oh, I'm going to gatekeep. You're going to get beat by a week 3 Echo player that's never played a fighting game before, and you're going to get mopped up and you're going to quit the game, and good riddance. We don't need you around anymore. Goodbye. And of course, there are going to be top players like Sonic Fox and Justin who actually do mop everyone up. But, those aren't the guys saying, I'm going to gatekeep. Those are the guys saying, yeah, I can't wait to play with everyone. So, I don't know. Anyways, that's my thoughts. I think the game looks super fun. Can't wait for it.
Yeah, I think that people are going to be trying out this game a lot, and I absolutely agree. I hope that as many of them as possible stay. I want to have more players, and I hope that they enjoy a game that's going to be grimy, because this game's going to be grimy for sure. Just having seen the 3 things that they showed off, which I'm excited for, to be clear. So I think that will be that way, and 100% it's going to be the case that somebody will pick up this fighting game, never having played a fighting game before, and in year 2 is going to win a major. For sure. Because that happens for all these games. That has been happening I can think of a few examples of that in Mortal Kombat, where people are like, not really into fighting games at all. Oh, the next MK comes out, let me try that. Year 2, they're winning majors. That for sure. That happened in Street Fighter V. That happens. And in a game that's based on League, where there's, Riot is hoping, going to be a little bit more of people who played League of Legends trying this game out. I expect that to happen.
Yeah.
That's going to happen for this too. And that scene is gigantic. And yes, a lot of the players are very casual, but they have a tremendous amount of talent too. And there's going to be like just some killer, super smart video game player who decided to spend most of their time on LoL, who then now decides to spend most of their time on this game, and they're going to be sick at it. Of course. Just in the same way, honestly, that when League was relatively new, a bunch of fighting game players were sick at it and actually went pro in it. So, why not?
Chen is saying that same thing happened in France with Dragon Ball Fighters.
Dragon Ball Fighters, great example.
Yeah, became really good, and they just didn't play fighting games. They just wanted to play Dragon Ball, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, and so some people are talking about free to play. There's nothing been confirmed yet on how they're gonna do the model.
You would imagine it would be.
I was just about to say, if it's not free to play, I may have to like eat my thumb or something like that, because like I feel like it's definitely gonna be free to play. But again, it's gonna be interesting because again, the games do offer different kinds of strategy and stuff, and if you're a huge League of Legends player, it might not appeal to you. So this whole notion of trying to gatekeep people and stuff, it's useless, man. Like,
let's play video games, everybody. Let's have a good time. Don't be a jerk to other people, except in these cases where they think it's fun too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Try not to actually gatekeep people out of the community, please. Like, that would be great if we could have a bigger
That'd be cool
community.
if you didn't do that.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it sounds like when someone says, I can't wait to gatekeep people, it just means I can't wait to actually maybe hopefully get some free wins because I can't win in any other way. Fashion.
I get to win? I finally get to win?
That's exactly what it sounds like.
Because, like, all the expert players aren't going to be trying to gatekeep anyone. They'll probably try to help them learn, like pros tend to do,
And now we're not telling you not to roast someone when they call the game a Tekken-like, okay?
Okay, that's
absolutely
hilarious.
Roast them to hell. They deserve that.
A Tekken-like.
But if they're
I
like,
love it.
hey, how do I stop people from jumping in? Don't gatekeep that person. Give them real advice.
Yeah.
But the Tekken-like guy, he deserves every little bit that he got.
Yeah,
Even the
I'm on
LoL
board.
players were like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Those gatekeep those people. I'm okay with that.
A little bit of information. The anti-rage quit tech is really nice, and it's really possible because Riot has giant server infrastructures around the world that make it easier. Yep. The reason why it doesn't work in a lot of the other ones is because everything is a peer-to-peer connection, and then only the winner goes, or like, so, I'm not sure exactly how the reporting works, but it's not as easy. But because now I think all the games can maintain a connection to a particular server in this one, they could actually determine who pulled or who disconnected, as opposed
I think the really interesting part is, like, even outside of being able to tell who rage quit, is if someone is having packet loss issues, it just bounces back to them.
Right.
You don't even have to deal with it. Like, that's the really dope part of the technology is you probably will never even see a rollback because they're not going to come to your side.
Right. It's very much like how Parsec is working, right? I mean, that's kind of how Parsec works, is that your connection to the Parsec machine determines your quality.
Right.
If you're fighting another person who's living in, Alaska on Wi-Fi, while their parents are watching a Netflix movie, like, it's not going to affect you. And that's kind of one of the powerful things that they might have. So
yeah, that'll be cool.
As far as how much money is in Project L for the FGC or for content creators or for top players, pros, commentators and stuff, that's a long ways off. Not just because the game really seems like it's nowhere near coming out, but also because Riot, when their games have initially launched, hasn't been like, all right, everybody, huge league right away featuring max esports teams for everything right away. They let things simmer a little bit. They let the scene play it out. It's not going to be the case that a player will get Faker's contract right away, which is like $5 million with an option for
you
$2.5
speak
million
for yourself,
more.
Bucko. I'm going to be so dominant in this game. Riot himself, Mr. Riot, is going to write me a check. Write me a check himself, and for $1 million, saying, TuboWare, you're the best. So here's $1 million.
Here's $1 million.
That's my game plan.
Yeah. But that's not going to happen right away. There's going to be some period of time where they'll let the community figure it out, and
I mean, it's an interesting situation too, because a lot of people get mad at that too, right? So I've heard a lot of people
We've
say
talked about this,
that they hate the fact that the community builds it up and then they just kind of come and reap the benefits of it, kind of thing.
Yeah,
but,
I was gonna say letting it simmer is a nice way of putting it, David.
Yeah, no, we've talked about this in the past. I think that there's a scummy aspect to that as well, but I'm just saying that it's not going to be the case that there will immediately be big bucks for anybody who's
it's not like
top
here's the game and here's the
At
world
least we would
tour.
imagine.
Yeah, probably not anyway. Historically speaking, there hasn't been.
Yeah.
We would imagine. We don't have any inside info on this.
Yeah.
And if we did, we wouldn't tell you, losers. Nerds.
Oh man.
All right, cool. Anything else on this one?
Let me see if I have any information that I had left in here. Nope. But happy to see some progress on it. So looking forward to getting more progress again in another 6 months or so. I mean, they did say that they were going to try to give us more information a little more regularly as this going forward. But
I have a gut feeling that they're further along than they're letting us know.
Interesting.
Because if I'm not mistaken, the only reason I'm saying this, if I'm not mistaken, they did this with Valorant too. They didn't talk about Valorant for a while. They went completely dark. They came back and were like, hey, here's Valorant. And then 3 months later, they're like, okay, you can play it now. So I don't think they're at that point with Project L. Like, they haven't named it yet. When they announced Valorant, they gave it its real name. They're like, it is called Valorant. So I think once that happens, we're going to be real close to when Project L is. But I also think that they are farther along than they've talked about. Once Riot starts talking, that's when they're feeling comfortable about their games.
Right. Yeah, it's true.
So I think I don't think that build that was running at 30 frames per second is even close to where they actually are.
Yeah.
That's just a good feeling.
They're like, install the old version of the build.
But yeah, Valorant, that was like the timeline for Valorant. So I'd bet in a few months we hear from them again, and maybe they'll drop the name and then maybe a release date.
Okay.
Well, hopefully early. I would assume early 2023 if I was to take a guess is when they would want to release it.
Interesting. Okay.
I want to get into stomping all these LOL nerds. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I can't wait.
Knocking them right out of the community. That's what I'm talking about, right?
I want to find some.
Get out of here.
I want to find some low feeders.
I'm gonna blow them up
so I can actually win and feel good about myself.
See ya. Yeah, Leo, little league player. I'm gonna project this L onto you.
Got him. All right. Let's take a break. Come back, and when we do, we'll have Diaphone with us, second place at Red Bull Kumite. Be right back, and don't go anywhere. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Tuesday show. We are moving on to the next segment here, where we will bring on a guest for the episode this week. What? Don't look at me like that. I'm allowed to fumble words every once in a while.
I'm just looking at the camera. Don't look at me.
Okay. Anyways, we're gonna bring on our guest, none other than Mr. Oh, I said none other than. I'm Rob TV now. Mr. Diaphone. Diaphone, how you doing?
Hey, what is up, everyone? How's it going? Thanks for James. I noticed you introduced me as Diaphone and not Diaphony.
Yes.
And I just have to say, you started the Diaphony trend, and it looks like you dropped it, but for some reason, Spooky picked it up.
Oh no!
Yeah, so every NLBC, he just calls me Diaphony now.
Dude,
that's hilarious.
Because when I first saw it, I was like, oh, it's got to be like a Greek name. He's naming himself after like a Greek something. So I called you Diaphony. Yeah, I called you Diaphony. And so, but then I found out, because I thought I asked you and you were like, yeah, that's cool. And I was like, oh, I was right. And then it just turned out you were just being nice to me.
I thought you were trolling me. Yeah, I honestly thought you were trolling me. And now I know Spooky is trolling me because Spooky called me Diaphone for like years, and now he's calling me Diaphony. So I just don't enter NLBC anymore.
Damn, hold that, Spooky.
Dang, now Spooky's gonna come and hunt me.
I won't enter your shit anymore.
They're gonna hunt me down because Spooky's gonna be like, "This is your fault. He's not entering anymore."
Man, everybody's getting renamed nowadays. Brian F is now Brian H.
Yeah, Brian H.
You know, that's what's popular now.
Yeah,
you don't know about the Brian
part of the
H?
descendants to esports. Yeah.
Because
Shout out
L.I.
Skateboards.
Joe was
yeah.
announcing them, and he said, Chris, CCH! And then he said, Brian H! And
Yeah.
apparently,
Did he really?
there's another Brian H
that's funny.
in like Long
There is-
Island
there
or
is a
something
Brian
like
H.
that. So, yeah.
Makes sense.
Anyways.
Yeah, thanks a lot for joining us straight from the Guilty Gear Strive video game. Pretty cool that you managed to insert yourself in there. Congratulations on that.
Yes.
Yeah, so we wanted to have you on to talk not just about the Ren and Herbal Kumite, but, stuff leading up to that, like your entire life. So let's start by talking about, how you got into fighting games in the first place, and then how you got into taking fighting games seriously enough to start competing.
Yeah, so I was born March no, but yeah, so I started fighting games. Actually, I really like fighting games growing up. I was super casual. Think about the kid that beat all their friends at Melee, but didn't know a competitive scene existed. That was pretty much me, right?
I was always, yeah.
So you started with Melee then? Pretty much? Or?
I played it growing up, as
Okay.
a teenager, right?
Right.
And then
Wait, how old are you?
I'm 31.
All right.
Yeah.
Threes.
Exactly.
To the old man's club.
Glad to be part of it. No, yeah, and so I didn't realize there was a competitive scene for any of this until my roommate showed me that, the stereotypical Evo 37, my roommate in college. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I wasn't sold at that point, but it put the seeds that there's actual other people that play this game and they're really good. And there was there's a Smash Bros club at my school, and so I started playing Smash Bros, and I played with them, and I was actually really good. I came into it and I was beating actually all of them in Brawl. Yeah, but then there was really good Melee players that would show up, and I'd try playing them. I'd just get destroyed. Right. PC Chris. I don't know if you guys know who that is.
No, I know PC Chris. That's old school.
Yeah, so he lives in the area where I went to college up in Buffalo.
Okay.
Or he visits or whatnot. I saw I didn't get a chance to play him, but I saw the people that beat me play him, and they got the story. I'm like, oh my god, there's such another level to this competitive stuff. And then I got into Street Fighter to play my roommate. I'm like, instead of playing Melee because that game's old, Street Fighter 4 just came out, which I'm not 09er, I'm more a 11er because it's already been out for a couple years. But yeah, I started playing with I started practicing. I bought an Xbox over summer break, and I realized there's people in the local scene for Buffalo. I hit them up because I thought it'd be fun to play other people offline, and I just got really hooked by the improvement cycle and actually having people that are interested in fighting games as I am. I thought that was super cool. So just kind of I sort of played casually. I didn't really attend tournaments for a while. I just wanted to keep getting better. And I pretty much played Street Fighter, Marvel. I played a lot of games. I couldn't really decide on anything. And I took a kind of a break around the right after Street Fighter 5 dropped, because I wasn't a big fan of Street Fighter 5 on release. Right now I think it's super cool, but
peaks and valleys.
I'm already I'm way behind, so I'm not gonna pick it back up.
Yeah.
So I
think
dropped.
you're doing all right with Strive, by the way.
Yeah, you seem to be
doing I think you're doing okay there.
Yes. Thanks. But yeah, I really like Street Fighter 4. I really like Marvel. I really like those Capcom games. And but anyways, I took a break around 2016, 17, 18 to focus on my career. And then I got my certification in my field. And I told myself when I was grinding out that certification, all the studying and whatnot, I'm after I'm done with this, I'm gonna try hard in fighting games. And that was right after Smash Bros. Ultimate dropped, which I think was late 27, late 28, somewhere around there. Late. Yeah.
It was a while ago now.
Yeah, someone might know the days. I'm thinking late 2018. And I tried to play, and I just felt really out of my element. There's people that have been playing 4 for 5 years. It's basically the same game. I'm I got too far. I got too far to make up. So I decided on BB Tag because it's just the game I like the most, right?
Interesting.
And I started to do pretty well in BB Tag. I improved a lot, and I think the first tournament that I did pretty well was Combo Breaker 2019. I think it's the last
good tournament to do well at, dude.
yeah, it's pretty cool. I did way better than I thought I would do, considering I hadn't really gone to a big major for that game. And like it was funny. The patch released like a week beforehand. No, like not even a week, like 4 days, and they decided to like rock the patch.
Yeah.
And my team like got buffed so much that like no one knew what my team did. It was hilarious. Yeah. And so I even had my Switch. I was like because that game came out for the Switch too.
Yeah.
And so I was labbing what to do in the new patch on the plane ride there.
Yep.
That's cool.
And so like I think I just took people by surprise. And after that I've done pretty well. So I went from BB Tag, then I went to Grand Blue, where I did very well in that game, but it was all like online, right? So like I didn't really get the chance to prove myself, and then Strive came out and I've been grinding that. It's a lot of fun. I'm just trying to like play the games I really like, that have a lot of people, and it was Grand Blue, but now like playing Grand Blue is pretty miserable online compared to playing Strive online.
Oh yeah.
Even though I like the games about equally, right? I think they're both really fun. So I've been playing Strive, and yeah, it's been going pretty well. Really like the game. I really like streaming and making content, that sort of thing too, and improving. And I really like the community. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool times.
There's a bunch of different stuff to get good at and to improve at and to like have the cycle of improvement at.
Yeah.
Why fighting games in particular? What about them is the draw?
I don't know. Now you ask me that.
That's a fair answer, man.
There's definitely a lot of things that you can improve at, right? I'm not just saying like games in general, right? Because I used to play Dota, and then I kind of switched to fighting games because I don't like teammates, right? But
that is a common thing that I hear about people who play fighting games.
Really
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a lot of like IRL stuff like I grind on. Like I've been really into fitness like last few years and that sort of thing. But like as opposed to fighting games versus other things, I think it's just kind of what I landed on, and I really like it. So yeah, it's a combination of those.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the things that you said during that, and even David just repeated the phrase because I think it probably stood out to him as well, is you said you enjoyed the cycle of improvement, right? And I think I just want to highlight that because I think it's a very important thing to understand, and where a lot of the fighting game comes from. If you don't enjoy that cycle, it's really hard to get better to the point where you can finish second place at a Red Bull Kumite, But so I mean, wait. So based on what you're saying, is Strive your first Guilty Gear then? This is the first Guilty Gear you've played?
That I've taken seriously. I played Xrd for like I entered one tournament for Xrd, and I didn't do very well, but it's the first one I'm taking seriously.
Okay. And I mean, even before the August patch, Ino was pretty good, right? People were saying she was the worst in the game.
I actually think. Wait, which one was the August patch?
The August one
was that the first patch?
Yeah, the first patch where she got
the one where she got
buffed.
I think for sure she was bottom tier.
Yeah. Okay.
Bottom 4.
See, I was just trying to use you to justify my inability to fight her. That's all.
I don't know if she was bottom 1, but like. People really underestimate how much the buffs helped her. Like, I think she's a really strong character now, and she got so much. I think she's probably like the most buff character since the game release, right? And so I don't think people realize like how much better she has gotten. Like even like her combos work. Like before, her combos literally wouldn't work against like half the cast,
right?
And they're like really character specific spacing, so that's all fixed. Her movement is way better, so now you can like actually get in and you can do better setups. Like just those two changes alone in the August patch like made a real difference. And then she got buffed again, and the buffs are like, even though she got like, it didn't look like much on paper, like the change list is really short in the most recent patch. Like the system changes, like being able to cancel JS and the JD is just like super cracked. And like people I think underestimate how much she got buffed, but also like overvalue her when she was released, in my opinion.
Okay.
So you have played Gear in the past, but only for a little bit. Why then, with this new game that comes out, would you pick a character that at the time you didn't think was very strong? What was the draw to for you?
I just want a character that's I'm not really like, I won't say a tier whore, but I've tried tier whoring in the past. It's never worked out, right?
Okay.
Like I literally like I think. For me, I mean, I don't think this is true for everyone, but for me, I'm more of a person like when I'm having fun with the game, I do better. because I'm more interested and I come up with like cool ideas and I enjoy myself more too, and that's what you should do in a hobby like this, right? So how do I say?
She just had a factor that just kind of appealed to you.
I think she was just like she kind of appealed to me. I kind of like characters that can like.
Right? Or
oh, sorry. What's up?
Did you play Matera and Granblue?
I started with her actually.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. So she's a little kind of similar to in some way.
There's a few like criteria I have for a character, and they're like really odd. One of them is like I like to be a special snowflake. I like to play characters that other people don't play.
Yes.
I like characters that are like I think have potential. I like characters that can like play a variety of different play styles. Like they have a lot of options where like like you can kind of zone out with a note in HCL, or you can go in. Like I like that kind of like flexibility with a character, and so I think that's sort of what drove me to Eno. And also like I did really well with my character in MultiVersus was Zoe, who is also considered like not a very good character for the vast majority of the time she was released, and so I'm like I think I can do it with a character even if she's not that strong. And then I started to like go into despair mode when she like after a month, because like she was really bad at the start. But there's people like Daru that are like, don't give up, and I'm like, all right, if Daru can do it, then I can do it too. So
I mean, NLBC, you played a lot of Granblue. You were the one that was like winning with a different character every week, right? Like every time a new character dropped or something.
Yeah. I think I won with like 8 different characters.
That was the best. No big deal.
I mean, like, what do you attribute that to? Like, where do you feel like you're just naturally gifted in fighting games and you're just gonna brush your shoulder and stuff, or I mean, where do you feel like that talent comes from?
I mean, I've been playing fighting games for a while, right? Since like 2011, and I think I mean, maybe I have some natural gifts. But it's not like I think a lot of it, especially in the last few years, it's been more of like a mentality shift and having there's things I think I do a lot better than like the vast majority of the people in the scene. Like I have a very consistent schedule. I make the most of my practice time. Like you'll see, like if you look at my online matches, I have many online matches compared to like almost anyone else at my level, but I make the most of my time, right? And I focus on improving, and I focus on like I don't know, I think I just make the most of my time. Granblue specifically, I think a game like that is pretty easy, and it's like really, how I say, like not that hard to pick up a character. So while it sounds really impressive to like win with 8 different characters, it's not actually as hard, because like I was just like people wouldn't know who I was gonna pick, and then I would just gimmick them out with like a character that they didn't know what the character did. So it wasn't like it will like doing that in Strive or doing that in like almost any other game would be so much harder, because there's like more people that enter, and there's more like depth of the community. Like there's people are just better because of netcode.
Right.
But 2, like it's way harder to learn a character in a game like Strive than Granblue.
So you've talked about this a little bit, kind of just offhandedly a couple of times, this improvement cycle thing that you feel like you have spent a lot of time in, and that you're strong at. You've said a few different things that you have done it in. Can you talk to me about what that looks like for a fighting game?
Like how do I say? So like about why I think I'm better at like improving at fighting games than other people.
No, I mean,
or like making the most efficient use of my time.
What's the process of the improvement cycle look like? What do you do? What sort of choices do you make? What are the
do you watch back a lot of your own videos?
Yeah.
I see. Yeah,
like sort of.
I mean, the improvement process for anything is you just do it more, right? But I think it's about the ratios at what you do, and like how how much effort you put in, that sort of thing. But for fighting games, it's like I do all the standard stuff that people do. Like obviously I play online matches. I play a variety of different online matches. Like I play against people that are better than me, long sets, short sets, tournaments, that sort of thing. I watch my replays, which I hate doing, but it's too valuable not to do. And I think a lot of people skip that, right?
Yeah.
I spend a lot of time in the lab, like even just like execution practice or like I like right before the stream, I was just chilling in lab, listening to the stream and like practicing some setups and whatnot like that. So I think like that kind of like focused training in like train mode I think is really strong. The thing I do that I think is atypical from most of the FGC is I am a religious note keeper. So anytime I have an idea for like shower thoughts, right? You're in the shower, you think of something, I write it down always. I'm at work, I think of something, I write it down. I'm driving, I have Siri like text me it so I can make sure to put it in my notes. Like I'm religious note keeper. And right now, look at my notes, they're 29 pages long. And a lot of it's like formatted. So like for example, before Red Bull Kumite, like I write down all my notes and like I'd organize my thoughts because I think organizing your thoughts in like clear and concise manner will let you play in a much more streamlined and efficient way, right? And so I think I do that like they're kind of like mental exercises almost, like going through your notes or like making sure that you fully flesh out everything that you want to test. I think that's like, how do I say, like stuff like that. I think that puts me above some people on like efficiency of use of time. Yeah,
because you said that you don't necessarily have as many matches as some of the players at your level, but you feel like you're using time better. So as maybe more concrete example, you make it into Red Bull Kumite, right? Now you know that you have to play against these other players. What was the training process that you went through before that tournament?
I like to stay pretty consistent, right? Like I don't think you should change that much. The only things I really changed were like I watched footage of the people that I was playing against, and I do like visualization of like how I'm gonna approach each match, but and then like do a little bit more labbing, like make sure I have my notes fully fleshed out for every character and make sure they're lab. But other than that, it's not like I spent more time, because I think if you spend more time, then you take away from like sleep or you take away from your health or other stuff, and that's just gonna make you play worse, right?
Balance.
It's like cramming before a test. It's not a good long-term strategy, right?
Yeah.
No.
And it's the same thing. You go in the Red Bull, and I played a bunch of casuals, and just made sure to stay well rested. I worked out every day. Like I got my 8 hours of sleep. I made sure I was like ready to play on RBK Day, which surprisingly not a lot of people do. Like
no,
yeah. I'm pretty sure I was the only player working out each day before Red Bull Kumite.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, dude,
it's OP, but I don't know why people don't do it.
You're totally right. Like that is, I've only ever known a few players who take it who act like that.
Dude, Daigo's done it.
Even absolute top level players. Some of them will get smashed the night before. Like that is not it's not uncommon. I don't know. I mean, at my age either, I can't do that anymore. But like time was like we all were doing that. It was very, very rare, especially back in the day, that people would take it that seriously.
Right.
But now, let me ask this question here. Now, obviously, after you finish, you qualified, and you're thinking, okay, now you won the LCQ. Here I am. I will admit, I picked Daru Inu to win the whole entire event, right? Talk to me, because you mentioned, him being kind of inspiration for you. Talk to me how it felt to not only, outplace him and get second place, but you beat him in the mirror match, right?
Bodied his
in
chin.
the pools. Yeah.
Yeah.
How did that feel?
It felt pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. It was something that like when I won LCQ, that was like one of my motivations. Like I really want to meet Daru, and I really want to play against him and prove that I'm strong, right? And so like I kind of kept that motivation, and kind of inspired me to put in the work that I did for the event. And so seeing that work pay off, I think it's always a good feeling, right? So,
do you think this means you're the best on the planet Earth?
No, I actually have more of an appreciation for Daru after the event than beforehand. So, no, I think there's things that I do better than Daru, right? One of them being especially playing in a tournament setting. But I think overall, like watching Daru play casuals, like he just has he has 20 years of experience. Like I can't beat that.
Right.
maybe I'm the better player, but he's definitely the best pilot of for sure.
I think that's a really cool perspective to take. Being at that event, and it's quite a unique event. It feels very different from everything else. I didn't go, but I've been to Kumite's in the past, and they're always really unique. Did that feeling of the event feel different than, for example, when you did well at Combo Breaker 2019?
I mean, honestly, like
you're in this cage. There's the whole
the
sort of
cage
song
really,
and dance of it.
It did feel like I feel like a little more nervous just because I'm like, oh my god, what if I go 0-3? Like that sort of thoughts. But you can't actually think that, right? Like if you think, oh my god, what if I go 0-3? You're gonna go 0-3, right? Like, so it's more of like I felt really excited, probably more excited for Combo Breaker because like it's the first time I played Strive offline. Like it's the first time I've been offline in like a year and a half. So yeah, I just felt really excited. I don't know if it's also weird because like you get paid to just show up, and Red Bull takes like super good care of you. So I'm like, even if I don't do well, like who cares? Like this weekend was awesome, right? So there's like a combination of that, like just feeling good about the whole weekend and like feeling like I had nothing to lose.
So I mean, after getting second place and only losing to Gobo, like, do you feel like now that maybe you're kind of like with your success in Grand Blue and now here in Strive, do you feel like you were kind of targeted now once we get back to offline, that people are gonna be like, I'm gunning after Diaphone because he's like the best in the US right now?
I try not to think about it. I mean, everyone's gonna have their ebbs and flows, right? I don't know if this is a high peak point for me, a low point for me, right? And maybe I should have won or something like that. But think about that stuff. I don't think is that useful. And so I think for me, it's just stay the course, right? I still want to get better. I still want to improve. Nice. So I need to keep doing that. If people have a target on my back, whatever, that's gonna happen. I've been popped off on like when I was a crappy fighting game player, right? So are people gonna pop off of me if they beat me now? Oh, yeah. Sure, of course, right? Like, I mean, it's the same kind of cycle. It's just now more people know who I am. So
speaking of that and of getting popped off on, ever since I watched the finals, I was wondering what it felt like. Did you see Gobo's face? Did you know what was going on the other side of that table?
No, I had no clue.
Oh, did you not? Okay.
Yeah, and my wife texted me. She's like, "Why was Gobu looking at you like that? Like, he wanted to kill you or something, something along those lines." I'm like, babe, what are you talking about? I thought she was crazy. And I looked back at the replays the next day. I was like, oh, you look like that,
Yeah. Dude, I mean, speaking of Gobo, I keep telling this story on stream, but I'll let you relate a little bit about, you tweeted out how you pinpointed the exact moment that you lost to Gobo. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, go for it. What was the story?
I mean, that was basically the story. I had the opportunity to practice the Gold Lewis matchup. I was so convinced he wasn't going to pick Gold Lewis that I didn't practice it. I wanted to make the most of my time. Yeah, and I'm like, I can be very efficient with my time. And I watched Gobu replay, and he hasn't picked Gold Lewis once in the last month. And I don't think he's going to play him.
Right.
And I stuck with my guns. I'm like, I don't have time for a contingency plan. Yeah.
You don't understand the Zoomer humor. Of course he was picking Gold Lewis if he made Grand Finals. Of course he was.
I don't understand the Zoomers. That's what it came down to.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you didn't get it.
It was Jan, right, who was saying, go practice with Kid Viper, and you're like, nah. It's like you have someone put the tweet in the chat, where you took the screen cap of that. So
no, but I'm curious about whether you think that says anything about sort of whether you should change your preparation ideas. I mean, I think many other people in your situation who maybe have a less focused training regimen would have just been like, yeah, sure, I should. I'm down to play. Like, I'm going to grind and grind and grind. Right? That's kind of a philosophy that's very common. And sure, like if Kid Viper wants to get games, I'm down to get games. But that's something that you said no to. Do you? Will that have an impact on how you train moving forward?
Yeah, I'll think twice. Honestly, looking back, I think that was the right decision. With the information I knew, I think that was the right decision.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
But I don't know. I'll definitely think twice. Like, because he was like, if there was another match at the practice, that was it, right? There's no other players in the Kumite that really have a secondary that's threatening, like Go Boo, Go Lewis. And so I had that decision. I'm like, I could spend a few hours labbing out the matchup and figuring out what to do, or I could spend it on, whatever else at the time, right? So, I chose the latter. It probably wasn't the right choice, but with the information I had, I don't know. If that situation comes up again, which I think it might be pretty rare, but if it does, I'll think twice. I'll think twice for sure.
That's good. No regrets though. No regrets is important. So.
Yeah, I think that's a really cool perspective, actually.
Yeah, for sure.
So I mean, I was just about to say, we joked about the diaphony kind of thing. One of the questions that I do always like to ask people before they take off is, where did that handle even come from? Like, what is a diaphone?
It's really lame. But all right, here's the 10 seconds version. So I'm very bad at naming stuff, and I'm creative in some aspects, but in some aspects I'm like very, very uncreative. And so my idea for a gamer tag, I was like playing some MMORPG. I'm like, what do I call myself? And I'm like, all right, you know what? I'll hit the random page button on Wikipedia. And I hit the random page button on Wikipedia, and the word diaphone came up. I'm like, sure, screw it. That is it.
What? What is a diaphone?
It's like another name for like a specific type of foghorn.
Wow, a low-pitched fog signal operated by compressed air, characterized by the grunt that ends each note.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
That's actually not a lame story at all. That's actually pretty sick.
I mean, I will say it is unique. I've never heard anybody else have that kind of backstory to their name.
That's like the Wu-Tang name generator. That's how Childish Gambino. You're basically the FBC Childish Gambino. Yeah. He used the Wu-Tang name generator, and that's where Childish Gambino
That's
came.
Amazing. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know. Well, look, what else are you doing, and where can people watch or etc.? Yeah, plug your stuff.
Yeah, sure. So I'm going to CEO in a couple weeks, and then I'm gonna be back to Team Na for a really long time. I remember going to Red Bull Kumite, and I was like, oh yeah, this is why I hate flying. So I think I'm gonna not fly for a while after CEO. But me and the wife are we're gonna go Disney and that sort of thing. So she's coming with me. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Take it a little more casual, but I still want to do very well at the event. So I'm practicing for that. So check me out there. But I do stream every Wednesday and Friday around 7 p.m. Twitch.tv/Diaphone.
Eastern time,
underscore.
Right? 7 p.m. Eastern time, right?
Diaphone underscore. I post on Twitter, but it's more like tech and that sort of thing. So that's interesting. Follow me on Twitter. But I've been working on the YouTube recently as well, and I actually just released a video talking about my Rebel Kumite run. Nice. Some of the stuff that we talked about, but some more insights too. So if you're interested in that, check out my YouTube. Same thing, youtube.com/Diaphone or Diaphone underscore. They both work. I woke up one day and Diaphone worked. I don't even know why, but it was pretty cool. I was like, "Oh, sick!" I wish switched to that, but yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. And yeah, I'll be at CEO. Wish me luck.
Good luck. You did say you're gonna take a break, but are you gonna try to qualify for ArcRevo by any chance, or?
I don't plan to take a break. So
okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna try.
Cool.
I do want to how do I say, I told myself after CEO, I'm going to put more effort into content in the sense that I want to upgrade my stream set. I still have very basic stream setups and whatnot. So I'm going to work on that, audio quality, that sort of thing. And then, yeah, I'm going to definitely give ArcRevo a try. And then KOF will probably come out. I'm going to play that because I really like KOF. And
cool.
Yeah, I literally play every fighting game. So
good.
Yeah, I'll play some of the new fighting games that come out. But yeah, first CEO, then ArcRevo. Yeah, that's the plan.
Rad, dude. Well, thanks a lot for coming on. Is there any chance that you used to post on pound Capcom on FNet? Do you know those words?
Very occasionally. When I was learning fighting games, I was like, I want to join the cool kids.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
man.
so I tried
Yeah.
joining the cool kids for a little bit, and then I'm like,
Yeah.
nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
They're too cool for me.
Yeah. Is that the reason? Yeah.
But I have posted before, but very, very rarely.
I caught a reference that I was like, I haven't heard this in a while. But all right, man, thanks a lot for joining us. Appreciate it. Have a good night.
Yeah.
for coming on,
Take
man.
care, everyone. Thanks for having me.
For sure, dude.
Have a good one.
That was cool.
Dude, I love this right now that people in the chat are saying that if they use Diaphone's technique, Flotas says his handle would be Metter Downtown Historic District. And,
That's so great.
Blocks with Face would be Botanische Garten Kaiserberg.
Dude, all right. You know I got to try it.
I know. Wait, where is the random button on this thing? You just click search or something and...
I don't know, but now I really got to try this.
I've never used Wikipedia that way.
Where's the randomizer on this thing, dude?
I'm looking for it right now. Control F random.
Oh, random article
It's on the left.
there you
Yeah.
go.
All right.
Okay,
What do I
there
get?
you
What do I get? I get Jatcha Baori, which is a large stepwell near the Narsingji Temple, a Hindu temple in Prahlad Kund, located upon the western outskirts of Hindan in the Indian state of Rajasthan. Cool.
I would be Fonthong District.
Sick. That's your name now.
It's a
You're the
district
Fonthong
of
district.
Champasak province in southwestern Laos. I'd be
All right.
Fonthong. That's what I would be. PHONTHONG.
TuboWare's not going to do this, so I'm going to do it for him right now. What do we get? South Butler, New York, a hamlet in the town of Butler, Wayne County, New York. All right, well, this has been fun. Again, thanks a lot to Diaphone for coming on. We're going to move on to the next one. Let's get to the 5-5 matchup where we let viewers, of course, submit the questions that we then have them also vote on, and then we answer.
Yeah, and
also, let's get the old tempo moving here, because we have talked a lot about a lot of stuff already.
Now, I'm going to say there's not going to be any vote. There's two questions. They're basically the same question. How would you design easy inputs in a game to ease the barrier of entry but still provide depth? Of the games that have implemented some form of easy input, who did it best and why? And then Battle for the Grid and Rising Thunder are great examples of games without motion inputs that still allow for high execution. It seems Project L is going the same route. How does one convince others that execution and complexity can be achieved without motion inputs? Do you agree with me that these feel blended enough that we could probably talk about both? Yeah, okay.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
so I'm just going to write easy inputs, how? There you go. That's the easy inputs.
Easy inputs. How to? Yeah, I when we first had companies that were making easy input games, I think there was pushback. Is there pushback still? I don't hear anything like what I used to in terms of
not from people who I would take advice from.
Oh yeah, okay, fair enough.
So if you're a big dum-dum, yeah, you're probably complaining about it. But anybody with any sort of fighting game history, I don't think is really making a fuss about it.
Yeah.
It's more like the people who don't really play fighting games are like, you gotta have quarter circle foot. Shut up. That's just,
You have people...
I do remember people saying that when, like, especially Rising Thunder was new.
I do. Yeah, it was an issue back then.
I'm just saying it's not very common now.
People realized very quickly that it was silly to worry about that.
Yeah, I mean, even that game with single button presses still had some really tight links, some really interesting juggle setups,
absolutely.
and other games that have easy
just
motions.
Want to say,
Can I help you?
Diaphone forgot to plug his own YouTube in the chat, so he put the link in the chat over there. But just search for Diaphone _ on YouTube as well, and you'll be able to find his content there. So there you go. Anyways, continue. Sorry.
He definitely said his YouTube, but I'm happy to get it on there again. It's all good. Yeah, so I have seen enough of the games that have easy input stuff, whatever, whether it's Rising Thunder, which just had a button for a special move, or whether it's games that have auto combos or whatever in between, all of them have had difficult stuff still, whether that's just based on timing or what, or maybe like with Granblue, there's a reason to not always just press the button, right? There's a reason instead to use the motion a lot of the time. I feel like it is no longer a concern for me that games that have easy inputs are going to be easy to play. That's something separate. So some games that have easy inputs are easy to play also by design, but that is a separate thing. It's not that whether the motion controls are there or whether, whatever kind of input it is, that's a different question from how simple or complex the game is, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, look, all you have to do is say, like, currently Battle for the Grid. Power Rangers Battle for the Grid, easy inputs. Is that game easy execution? Hell no. There is definitely a lot of craziness going on in that game, and designed by Shady K. So like, it's not going to be one of the like a Clockwork and Shady K. Two of
the veterans like Clockwork and Shady K.
So I don't think it'll be a problem with that. So yeah, easy inputs. People shouldn't be convinced one way or the other. Like there shouldn't be a stigma really with it, because as long as it's designed with that in mind in the first place, you can make it work however you want it to be. If the easy inputs, like David said, are intended to make the game easier, a la like Fantasy Strike. But
that's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah, but you could have situations where, like Battle for the Grid, like apparently, what they're trying to do in Project L, easy inputs are just a facet of the game, and you can do other things. Now, you have to kind of design around it, right? Like, so one for example, I know in Rising Thunder during the beta, I was using the red robot, the Chinese robot guy, and the Balrog robot. Anytime he flashed, I would just hit the super button. Right, and that kind of thing might be a problem. Like I know, for example, in Soul Calibur, I'd actually prefer it if the supers weren't just buttons. I'd actually kind of prefer it that way. But again, it just, if you design it and you can figure out ways to make it work. You know what I mean? And even in games like Tekken and Soul Calibur, which are complex, their supers are one button, especially if you use a macro, right? So it's like...
Yeah, same with Mortal Kombat. In Mortal Kombat, Fatal Blows are the supers of the game, and you get them just for getting hit. That's the only reason that you get them. And when you have them, you just activate them by pressing a couple of buttons, and you got armor on the 7th frame, right away. Does that mean that they're too good?
No.
I actually don't think so, but some people.
I mean, again, Quincy in the chat.
It is definitely not the case that Mortal Kombat is too easy of a game.
I mean, like Quincy puts in the chat, it's a good example. It was easier to anti-air custom combo in Alpha 3 than it was the Super, just because, Alpha 3, the custom combos were just one button. Very much easier to react to. You don't have to worry about where your hand position is and, where your brain was and such. So there is something to be said about that. I mean, but again, those things can be mitigated by giving things startup a little bit more. Like if you actually made custom combos have a little bit more startup, then it would, that's all I would do. For example, like some of the SPD stuff, I would give them more startup in a Rising Thunder game, just to kind of make up for the fact that they are easier inputs. But again, you don't have to do that, because what if you just made it so that SPD is one frame button, but then everybody else had broken shit too? Then okay, that works fine. Like, as long as you know what you're doing and you realize how the simpler input affects your game. Like, if Zangief in Super Turbo had a one button SPD, he'd be ridiculous. Like, he'd be super good, but he's not balanced around that. If he did have a single button SPD, it would shorten the range. They would do, all these things. You're right. So it's just, obviously, if you take a game in a vacuum that exists right now and give it easy inputs, you're going to have a messed up game. But knowing that while you're designing the game, you have plenty of ways to balance it around it.
I agree. And I don't necessarily agree, Kevin Madi, that easy inputs are the inevitable future of fighting games. It's becoming more common that they are in there, but I don't expect it to be categorically the case that fighting games will have that. I think we'll continue to see what we have now, which is that some games have easy inputs, some games don't. Some games have auto combos. Some games still require your Potemkin Buster motions to be really on point that I screw up all the time. Like I think that kind of stuff will continue to all coexist. Fighting games have not been getting more similar, right? They're really different. And I think that trend will continue.
One thing to address, a Smelly Beetle says, is it possible easy inputs are designed to alleviate server issues? No, because that's what rollback netcode solves. Is that rollback netcode makes it so that regardless of how complex your inputs are, the state of the game will be true all the time, once it figures out.
And not to mention, most fighting games are peer-to-peer. You don't connect to a server. You're connected directly with your opponent, so there's no server to connect to. You don't have to worry about that part.
All right, anything else to say on this one?
No, I think let me see. Let me look at the double questions, make sure we addressed all the parts. Barrier of entry, but still provide depth. Yes. Implemented. Who did it best? Who do you think has done it best with the easy inputs so far?
Granblue.
Granblue. Yeah, without question. Okay. How can we convince others that execution complexity could be achieved without motion inputs? Yeah, we covered that. Okay, cool. Let's move on. We're not done with the new game news. There's more stuff got announced, and that is MultiVersus. By the way, excellent name. Kisses fingers. I love it. I love MultiVersus as the name. But this is the...
I wish it was Multi-VS. I feel like they missed an opportunity there.
Yeah, actually, it would.
I like that it says multiverse in it, and then us. I think it is basically it can't be improved on.
The hardest part about it, honestly, is that it's hard to Google, as I discovered today. I tried to Google it, and all it does is bring up nothing but Marvel links. MCU links, which is ironic for Warner Brothers here. But again, the leaks were true. Oh, surprise. And the game is definitely in production by Warner Brothers, not by NRS. It's by a different group of people. But it is indeed a platform fighter, confirmed to be free to play. This one has been confirmed to free to play, but just by looking at it, you can tell now that games like Nick All-Stars and this, they don't care how much they look exactly like Smash Brothers. Getting knocked off the stage, they all use the same explosions and all these things now, and it's just a genre now. And for sure, it is a platform fighter. But interestingly enough, free to play. But one of the interesting things is that they seem to be trying to focus a little bit more on team play, which was actually kind of neat, because what they actually showed was they've built in moves so that you can help teammates. Like if you have a lasso throw, you can save them from being knocked off the stage and grab them. You can actually protect your opponents from falling off by launching them back on, or there was a bunch of examples.
When I think it was Jake the dog burrows under the ground and you can follow through the burrow.
Yeah!
That was so sick. That is amazing, actually.
So
I mean, so stuff like that, I think I'm excited for.
If they present MultiVersus,
it was the Bugs Bunny, that makes sense.
Yeah, if they present MultiVersus as the problem is if you follow Bugs Bunny, you'll probably die a lot because he didn't take that left turn at Albuquerque. But the thing about it is I completely lost my train of thought making that joke.
All right, the thing about it is, MultiVersus is a video game where you can play as Bugs Bunny, Tom and Jerry, who is an Ice Climbers, by the way, Tom and Jerry, Finn the dog, Batman, Wonder Woman, and presumably Gandalf, LeBron James, anybody within the Warner Brothers universe.
Right. So currently the roster
to be playable.
The current roster is Arya Stark, Batman, who is voiced by Kevin Conroy, by the way. Kevin Conroy of Batman the Animated Series.
They really flexed all of their voice actors, by the way, which I thought was pretty rude.
Bugs Bunny, Finn the Human, Garnet Harlequin, who is done by Tara Strong, Jake the Dog, Ryan Dog, Shaggy, who's voiced by, what's his name? Matthew Lillard Shaggy, from the movie. Yeah. Steven Universe, Superman, Tom and Jerry. Tom and Terry are my parents. Sorry, Tom and Jerry, and Wonder Woman. Yeah, so those are the confirmed characters. But yeah, who knows? They could probably throw in Dumbledore or Snape if they wanted to into this, right? Like,
no, Dumbledore versus Gandalf. Oh my
dude,
God.
right? We would finally have all the answers.
Come on, man. Gandalf wins free.
I mean,
oh yeah, for sure, free. There's no question on that one.
He's not a human. I'm really excited about the team aspect of this, and the fact that when they on their website, where you can read about these little characters, they each have a category. There are bruisers, there are mages, Tom and Jerry, the mage. There are tanks. Yeah, there are tanks. Oh man, there's support. And then there's one that I'm forgetting. Assassin is the other one.
There's a lot of assassins.
Oh, interesting.
Assassin.
I'm assuming the assassin is the character that you're going to be wanting to apply the KO.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, I imagine it'll be like in
that's
other...
your DPS. That's your
exactly,
DPS.
That's the DPS. I think that's how it is.
Oh,
yeah.
They definitely
I'm really excited about that. Right now, Wonder Woman is the only one who's listed as a tank, so I'm probably going to be playing her when it first comes out. And like, what does that mean? Like, I'm going to be tanking in a platform fighter? I'm just very curious about it. I think it could be really cool.
Yeah. Look, it looks like they're doing a lot of cool things with it. Again, let me see. Was there anything else that I want to say here? Yeah, just about the voice cast. I mean, they definitely probably decided to emphasize that even more after they saw what happened with Nickelodeon All-Stars.
Oh my God.
I got something to say. I saw a lot of people on Twitter, highly respected people in the Smash community, saying things like, well, Nintendo released this on this day, and this got announced on this day because they want to compete with Nintendo, and Nintendo's afraid, and so they released Sora on this day to compete with Nick All-Stars. Nintendo doesn't give a shit about Warner Brothers releasing this game. Nintendo doesn't give a shit about Nick releasing their game. You know why? Because Nintendo sold 30 million copies. Plus, who knows how much DLC of Smash Ultimate. They won. They won. It's over. No fighting game is ever going to sell more than 30 million copies. So if you really think Nintendo is afraid of Nicktoons or afraid of Warner Brothers, shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about. Delete your Twitter account. Just stop it. That's all I have to say.
All right, next topic. That's the rule.
That is the rule.
All right.
Do it.
Also announced with a new trailer was DNF Duel. Apparently is the official name for it, but as we all know it kind of as is Dungeon Fighter Duel or the Dungeon Fighter fighting game. But I think DNF Duel is its official name right now. And obviously with all these other games, I mean, we just got like gobs of information. This was literally like a minute trailer showing us just little things, and basically it's just flexing how beautiful the game looks again. I mean, it's just, I don't understand how Arcs is, like, they've always had, like, these supers that transition to things with, like, but, like, there's one part of this where the guy grabs you and literally the camera just rotates into, like, the crazy view, and it's, like, it's looking ridiculous. Now, there are some people that I think will probably say that the look might be getting a little tiring, actually, that we've seen this a million times. And I think David is feeling that way by the hand raise. So, I mean, I had someone tell me that if you told me it was DLC for Grand Blue, they would have believed you, right? So
it's exactly my feeling. It's absolutely beautiful. It looks great. It also looks just like at least there will be at least 3 games that, in my opinion, look the same. And that's unfortunate. I feel like you could probably do wilder stuff with that, or maybe more unique stuff with that, and I would like to see that. Again, it's not that I'm saying that the game isn't very pretty. It's just that I want to see more variety. Like, I want the games to look different. I don't get the same feeling of like, this is so... Part of why the games have been so cool that they've been making is that they are so unique. Those looks are so unique. And if they become not unique, they'll still be pretty, but they won't be remarkable in the same way that like Strive is just remarkable. I mean, obviously the last 3 games that they made at this point, amazing looking. And I mean, so like for example, Dragon Ball FighterZ I think looks great and is unique. It looks like Dragon Ball. Like it's the same. It's I don't know. It's the same. Similar tech, obviously. I don't know the differences or whatever, but it has its own very unique look. Great, I love it. So I just want uniqueness. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, it's the whole idea that the guy who made Katamari Damacy was tired of everybody making the same game. So he made the craziest game possible, and then the heads were like, make a sequel, make another sequel. And the whole sequel of the second game is, wow, Katamari Damacy is ridiculously popular. Like he's like making fun of it. And by the time they said make a third one, he quit. And he just he only made the second one because he didn't want someone else to mess it up. And so he kind of used it for commentary. And then they said make a third one on PSP where the controls wouldn't work. And he was like, nah, I'm out. So, similar thing. ArcRevo is doing great stuff with these graphics. Strive Exer looked amazing because it was different. But if they all start to look that way, then what's the point, kind of thing. But you got to imagine that a lot of the companies see Strive and make that. I want that. And then they're probably like, what if we do? No, I want that. And it's like, okay, all right, fine.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Anyway, not a ton of info on this game. But,
No,
Can we talk about real quick how they announced it a year ago and then they dropped a 46-second clip on us and now that's it? There's here you go. Back to see you in another year. Yeah, what the hell? Can we get any information? A year. Come on.
I guess they.
Has anything happened in the last year and a half that might have caused a delay in production, or has it been? Have we been living in normal times over the last year and a half? Has everything been cool, or maybe have there been any reasons maybe to things have been a little bit haywire, and you got to give them a little bit of slack for living through the greatest pandemic in modern history. Is that going to be okay? Is that going to be all right? You can't say anything. Anyway, let's move on to the next one. An official Smash circuit.
Yeah, official Smash World Circuit. I mean, we've been talking about Nintendo and how no one saw this coming. I didn't see this coming. No one ever thought that this would happen, but Panda Global and Nintendo have announced an officially backed Smash Brothers tour for Melee and Ultimate. It wasn't just Ultimate, but the thing said Melee as well. Now, the only other information we got from this video said 2022. That's all it said. But we know that this is happening, and I mean, let's face it, all of us are probably what the hell? There's no way we would have expected this to come from Nintendo.
Nintendo... Oh, go ahead, David.
I just want to quibble at first that it doesn't actually say that it's a world circuit. It says, in 2022, Panda will bring the first officially licensed circuit to North America.
Oh, do it say North America? Oh.
Yep, for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and Super Smash Bros. Melee to North America. Obviously, it's still a big deal. I'm not trying to crap on it, but I just want to be clear that it's not World Tour.
Okay.
Well, anyways, like I said, Nintendo won. Why wouldn't they do this now? It makes sense to me that they would wait until Ultimate was done to do this. They just... what does it hurt at this point? 30 million copies, guys. 30 million. What could hurt? They've made all the money you're gonna make from a video game if you're not Grand Theft Auto Online, right? They've made all the money. So what does it hurt to be you know what? We're done developing this game. Let's maybe see what happens if we do some esports stuff. And who better to work with than Panda Global, who's already been doing the esports stuff? This is probably very hands off for Nintendo. Nintendo's probably you know what? We like your chops, PG, or I guess this is Panda now. Go ahead and do this thing for us. That's what I'm imagining is actually happening, and that's why it's not global yet. Bet you it will be eventually, but for now, being based in North America, being ran by Panda, this all makes a lot of sense to me. I didn't expect it to happen, but now that it's announced, I think it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. And obviously, there's still so much speculation up in the air. We don't know how much involvement. Are they even putting in prize money? Or is this literally just Nintendo official backing as, we won't sue you? I mean,
even that is awesome for the Smash community, right?
Yeah. That's more than they've done in the past. So, at this point in time, we have no idea. It was just announced, and obviously very much surprised that, any sort of circuit can actually put Nintendo's name on it and say officially backed. That's a big news. That's a big deal.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Okay. For upcoming events, we usually kind of burn through these, but I thought that this one was actually really cool. With all of the trash talk between France and US recently in Dragon Ball when France defeated a bunch of people, and then the US was like, nah, we didn't even send our best players, etc., etc. Damascus has worked on putting together an official US versus France 10v10. He literally just announced it today. He literally just announced it today, and 6 U.S. players, and then 4 LCQ qualifiers are going to be heading out to France, I think, including Sonic Fox was invited, Reynold was invited, Apology Man was invited. I had the list. I should probably bring that up. I should have had it written down here for you guys.
Coach
but
Steve is number 5.
What's that?
Coach Steve was invited.
Yes, Coach Steve was invited. France has 6 players invited, and they're going to have the LCQ at the event to find out who the last 4 players are going to be. But they're actually doing this. And again, look, I am a big fan of regional rivalries. Recently there was the Punk versus who was even arguing with Punk? Was it Luffy or somebody or everybody? Just this EU versus US. After Problem X won Red Bull, they were like, Europe is clearly better than the US. And then, actually, no, that's not what happened. I think Arturo asked, is Europe better than the US? And then that just started all the trash talking.
That is where that happened.
And
Rebel Kumite was won by a French player and then a UK player. And there were plenty of people from many other countries who were invited to both.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, but, 2 Americans have won Capcom Cups. How many have they won?
I don't think they've won one.
Exactly. That was where Punk's argument came from.
Yeah.
He's like, they won the Invitationals, but we won the biggest event twice.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what does that mean?
had a couple of Americans in grand finals of 2 of them as well.
Yeah.
And as well as grand finals. They've done fine at Evo.
Look, again, regardless of where the trash talk or whatever comes out, I am all for this. Like, I love this shit. Like, give me regional rivalries all day. Because the one thing about rivalries, especially regional ones, the regional ones are more important to me than just 1v1 rivalry, Because the reason why that is because regional rivalries make you level up your friends or even your own personal rivals. Like Punk and Idom being on the same side, like Capcom Fighters even got involved. They're like, this looks interesting. And now it almost seems like Capcom Fighters wants to pull that off, what Damascus is pulling off for this event. And again, I love that, right? Because like Punk and Idom have been rivals, but now they're going to help each other. Same thing with this. Sonic Fox is going to level up all the other Dragon Ball players here in the States to make sure that they beat France, and same thing's going to happen with the French team. And I love that stuff. I've often told scenes like, how do we grow our scene? I was like, find a local rival with somebody. I had suggested to Texas that they create a little Texas circuit between like the 4 major scenes over there and such. I think regional rivalries are so important for the lifeblood of fighting games. So I'm super excited. I love that Damascus pulled this off. I really am, and I definitely want to check it out. It's gonna be what was it, December 10th, I believe. Yep. December 10th. Yeah, December 10th. So it's coming up very soon.
Well, I don't really care whether U.S. wins or France, or then U.S. versus, or maybe it's North America versus Europe and the Middle East and North Africa, or whatever, like in any of these games. I don't really care about this stuff anymore. However, I'm very much looking forward to seeing the players play and expecting high-level play. Should be cool.
Interesting. Okay.
All right.
Let's blast through some tournament results over here. CPT Pro Tour Brazil. Capcom Pro Tour Brazil 2 was won by Robinho with Karin. So got another Karin in there. Vienna Challenge Arena, which is a Smash event, took place. Pelly actually defeated Gluttony in first place for Smash Brothers Ultimate with Sonic and King Dedede. Revolution 2000 XX Extend was an anime tournament that took place in London. Main thing I wanted to point out was this dude Dragoi, first place in Melty Blood, second place in Strive, first place in Granblue Versus. I mean, that's
Okay.
kind of impressive.
Nice work.
ArcRevo EMEA took place. Latif took first place in that one, so he's qualified for ArcRevo. Wasn't a foregone conclusion. He actually got knocked into the losers bracket 3-0 by the second place player Slash, who has an excellent May. I'm sure Tubo knows all about him because as a fellow May player. But Slash is really, really strong. Yeah, he did really, really well. But Latif came back in the grand finals and was able to reset and take it. And then the Tekken Online Challenge Central America was won by a player named Energy Marduk. Guess who he played?
Marduk.
He actually played Marduk.
Gigas.
Yes. He actually played Marduk. So he took that one. So that's our tournament roundup for today. Another bit of information that I thought would be cool to share is that apparently PlayStation and Xbox, they're having Black Friday sales, no shock, but there's a lot of good fighting games on sale right now. So if you want to pick some of those things up, like I think Exerd Plus R is like $2.99 on Steam right now or something like that. But definitely take the time to go look through the list of those and see if it's a good chance to pick up any new fighting games. Again, I've been learning a lot of different games, and it's been a fun journey for me these past few years. Totally recommending picking up as many games as possible. Also, there was a Daisuke mini documentary. It's just like a little 5-minute video that was released recently, but it was all in Japanese. I want to say, let me actually get his name here just so I actually credit people properly. Someone by the name of O'Carroll, C-I-A-N.
Clan O'Carroll.
What is it?
Clan O'Carroll.
Oh, Clan O'Carroll? Is it? Because I think it's C-I-A-N.
It's on my screen.
It's C-I-A-N.
It's an I. It's C-N O'Carroll.
C-N O'Carroll.
Got it.
All right, guys.
Yeah, was the one
It's like 720p, and I'm 4 feet back. What do you want?
He did a translation for it. So if you guys actually want to watch that, that's available. Let me paste the link into the chat for you guys here. That should be the one right there. We'll try to make sure we get that into the descriptions as well. And then there's the mailbag.
All right, we got 7 minutes for the mailbag.
Yeah, let's do the 7 minutes for the mailbag. Let's get to the first question over here. Zachary on Twitter says, what's your FGC gatekeeping story? Whose bright light did you snuff out?
Wow.
Oh boy, I have a good one.
Okay.
I wasn't gatekeeping. I was just playing my game. But in vanilla Marvel 3, I think I'm the reason Darkside Phil quit playing the game. Because at UFGT 7, in the middle of game 2, after I'd already been up 1-0, he just unplugged his controller, got up, and walked away. So I'm pretty sure he stopped playing after that day. I was just doing jump S with Sentinel and calling Deadpool for the unblockable, and he was sitting on the ground taking it, in neutral. And I'm just giggling, and he's like, oh, took his shit and ran off. He yelled at the bracket runner, I quit. And that was that.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
So
my answer can hold that.
My answer is when I eliminated from final round, I don't know, 2013 maybe, somewhere around that part, when I eliminated in top 8 Darkside Phil with old Honda versus his DJ, which is a very hard matchup.
Come on, James. Come on, James.
Honda.
I've never fought Darkside Phil before in a tournament.
No.
I'm sorry.
He had
honestly, he was a perfectly nice guy, and he was very reasonable in person.
He raged out on me, so not the same. I mean, Marvel does that to people.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, gosh, I don't know. Like, for me, it's I hate saying this, but it always feels like it's Jason Cole for me. At B5, I defeated him in CVS 1. At the first Tournament of Legends, I beat him in Super Turbo. I don't know what it is. Like, at a UCLA tournament, I beat him in Grand Finals in Alpha 3. I don't know what it is. Like, why I keep gatekeeping Jason Cole. It's really weird, but it happens a lot. So, a lot of those situations where clearly he probably should have did really well in that. Also, so that's probably...
By the way, I don't have any actual answers to this, but I just thought the Dark Side Phil one was funny following.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Perfect. All right.
Because he definitely kept playing ST.
So Freaky Jason asked, what was Tubo's mindset when he pulled a Honda against Justin? This will never get old to me.
Wow, teed up and ready to go!
My mindset was, this is going to be a dope-ass entrance. And everybody's going to lose their shit when I take my shirt off.
Absolutely.
And also, I can do the Honda stomps, like the sumo stomps. So why would I not? I'm quite flexible. So it just made sense for me to do that. Also, I wanted to go a step further and have like the war paint and stuff, but I couldn't find it at the Walgreens. That was like nothing that would work because I was mad sweaty.
Hey, Central Florida Walgreens, do you have the face paint that sumo wrestlers use?
Yeah. Well, I was just looking for like lipstick or something, and the counter or the makeup person, whoever they had there, said I would sweat it off. So I was like, it's not worth. But yeah, I was gonna go a little bit farther, but it wasn't worth it.
All right, that's cool. It was a great moment.
So Stephanie Brownback this time with a wholesome question, asking, Thanksgiving wholesome question. What is something each of your co-hosts did this year that you are thankful for? Sorry.
Wow.
I am not thankful for that random person.
That was great, actually. What great
Sorry
timing.
about that. Yeah, I ruined that one, didn't I?
I know, right?
Jeez.
Yeah. No, I'm thankful for both of you guys for being the impetus behind some really cool things that we've done on the stream. Tubbo for the idea of the commentator cup, and being like the force that did like most of the work that was behind that, which was really great. And James for having taken more of the mantle of like prepping for the show for this and doing a ton of work on making cool, much cooler graphics and stuff like that has been really great. So good job to both of you. Nice work. Thank you very much.
Hey, thanks.
Yeah, I'm grateful that David has not complained about me changing his the layout of his show notes document to satisfy my own OCD needs as well.
Yeah.
So changing dashes to tildes because I'm a Control Shift arrow junkie, and that doesn't work with dashes at all. But no, for sure. I mean, Tubo, obviously, it's like David said, doing the commentator cup and everything, being the guy getting us all the interviews all the time. And just, I know he's pushing really hard to try to make, the Ultra Chen TV, YouTube, and stream a lot bigger and a lot stronger. And, it's not an easy thing to do. So, shout outs to him for putting through that effort as well. So,
hey, thanks. I appreciate that.
Okay.
Well, here's the thing about David. He's a big poop. And here's the thing about David again. Also a big poop. Here's the thing about James. James is just an absolute sweetheart. I have nothing bad to say about James. I think obviously, David does a ton of work on the show. David is instrumental in guiding the show. I don't know if you guys realize this or
he's
not,
the only sane person on the
yeah, David.
In a weird way,
is, the mediator between us two.
In a weird way,
and it's kind of a role he's taken on that we never really talked about, but he definitely is that in between where he sits, and it's really great to have him there. And obviously, James, come on, man. James has put in so much work with the new stream. James takes constructive criticism extremely well. James is always willing to. I mean, you do though. You do.
You do, honestly. Yeah.
You do. Trust me. I've worked with people that take it worse.
Yeah. Okay.
For sure. And obviously, all three of us are trying to improve everything we do for you guys. Shouldn't say for you guys, but everything we're doing for us. You guys get to come along.
I mean,
Thanks for
honestly,
watching, everybody.
Yeah.
I mean,
Thanks for
honestly,
watching.
that's why I asked last week what can we do to make the show more exciting for you guys at home as well. Obviously we're sitting here kind of trying to guess, like, do you guys like the mailbag? Do you like the interviews and stuff? And so more feedback from you guys would be wonderful, so that we can continue to cater to the show to stuff that you guys would like to see.
Also, real quick, I want to give a big shout out to Casmer. Casmer has highly improved our YouTube.
For sure.
And we've been trying to grow that recently.
Casmer's
Hardcore
been-
for probably like the past 3 or 4 months, and Casmer's been instrumental in making our YouTube tolerable to watch. So big ups to him.
Yeah, Casmer's definitely been killing it, so I really appreciate that. Okay.
And thanks for the kind words, Stephanie. Appreciate that.
The cats.
All right.
Okay. Drem via Twitter says, you crash land on a desert. I was wondering where these questions went. Crash land on a deserted island and bump into an old man who reveals himself to be the CEO of a fighting game dev who challenges you to scoring the most points in arcade mode. In which fighting game can you score the highest in arcade mode? Also, I like the way points fly out of you in rival schools.
Dude, this is the best written question in forever. It's so great. So great. The whole first sentence is completely irrelevant, but they nail it. The whole question could be in which game can you score the highest points? It's the whole question. But then the whole lead up to it is so
why is there a CEO on an island? Did you crash into like Honolulu? Like, what is going on here?
So good.
Oh man! Hey, that's where the Tetris company is based, so there's definitely some CEOs there.
It's so good. I love it. All right, so my answer is Third Strike. I can get the highest score on each opponent pretty regularly because the opponent doesn't know what to do. If you're Q and you do a capture and deadly blow, and then you reset them in the corner and then immediately do a capture and deadly blow, they don't know how to get out of that. All they have to do is jump or anything invincible or whatever. In fact, press buttons in some cases, and it doesn't know about that. So all you got to do is get them in the corner and then just loop it over and over again. You win every time. You get the highest score. Huzzah.
Sick.
I probably would do I think it was Tatsunoko versus Capcom, just because I'm not necessarily the best at that game or anything like that, but I would get good at it because if I remember, like every combo that you did scored like 37 billion points for like no goddamn reason. Like the game just had massive score inflation for no reason. So I think that's the game that I would do.
Okay, yeah.
Because if it's the number, I don't know if it's like relative.
Yeah, you're not probably going to beat Tatsunoko in
That's
that.
true.
So I think everything starts at 1 million. Like the lowest damage. Is 1 million.
Right.
So yeah. I don't play fighting game arcade modes ever. I guess Street Fighter 4 because I had to get achievements, so I did that. I think. So I'll just say Street Fighter 4. That's my answer. I'm going with Street Fighter 4.
The CEO is not going to let you leave the island.
That's all right. Well, that's fine. If the island with CEOs is probably a vacation destination. So
Yeah,
we're good, man.
It's actually just a resort.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
All right, last question for the day from Tavi Turnip via Discord. You've been cursed with a clone/robot of yourself that you are forced to allow to do one chore for you every day, but nobody else is allowed to meet them. What task would you routinely ask them to do that would best utilize your skill? This question sounds backwards to me. Like, what do you mean by forced to allow them to do one chore? Doesn't that mean you're forcing them to do a chore and it kind of sucks for the clone?
Your clone wants to help you out, and you're like, no, clone, oh, look, I brought you into this world. Go have fun. Do your thing. I'm not going to tell you what to do. And the clone is like, look, but I really appreciate that you brought me into this world, so I'm going to make you let me do something for you. Just let me do something for you. Whatever it is. Name it.
Dude, the easiest, I would love this so much.
But no one can meet them.
No, yeah, that's fine. My answer would 100% be clean my house. Because he would have the same OCD that I do, and he would know where to put everything that wouldn't make me go crazy. And then if that's the only thing that he had, and he was so happy to do it, yeah, that would for sure be the one, because I that's like the worst part for me. Being a kind of ADHD, shit just piles up and it becomes part of the normal background, and it's like really hard for me to actually clean things.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the obvious thing is clean a room in your home. I mean, mine would be the bathroom, because cleaning the bathroom is not fun. Like, just in general, like, if you know, you could be one of those people who clean it every day. Doesn't matter how gross it is. I see David's face there.
I'm just wondering,
just saying,
what's
cleaning
wrong with
the
your
bathroom is not fun. I just don't like cleaning the bathroom. Like, toilets are gross, dude. I poop in the toilet and I pee in it.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I don't want to touch that. Like, they can do it.
Do you clean your cat's litter box?
Do
you clean your cat's litter box though? I mean, they poop and pee in that
that's
too,
part of the
right?
bathroom.
That is
So
part
I
of
use
the
I mean, it's not like I'm digging my hand in the toilet either. I use a scrub brush.
Well, then
It's
how
like
do
I
you know
use
if they're
a
healthy or
spoon.
not? You gotta be able to feel the litter so that you can know whether they're healthy or not. You gotta take a. Yeah, you have to do a little
You
squeeze
mush
on
your
the,
cat's poo all the time.
just to get the sort of sense of how they're
Only
feeling.
time I've ever mushed my cat's poo is when I like saw something sticking out of it.
No, I
and I needed to know. Oh, okay. I was gonna say, I had to know what he ate. That's happened. But I'm like regularly.
I haven't done
Yeah,
that.
I've definitely taken
yeah,
it though,
take a
but
bag
like
and
you cut it open and put it under the microscope, right? And then you like smell it just to make sure that it smells proper. No, I'm just kidding. Okay.
Don't do any of those things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have had him clean my bathroom. It's the not meeting anybody would be tough if I ever had anybody home. Also, you have to live with this person? Ugh, I don't want to live with me.
Yeah, that would be pretty weird.
Yeah, it's fucking weird, man. He's gonna want to play games all the time. Like, go away, fuck off.
The chore that I would have him do is
dishes.
Go see the world. It's a chore that I would assign for him.
But someone would meet him. No one can meet your clone.
All right.
No one.
What's the wording of this?
But nobody else can meet them.
Nobody else is allowed to meet them.
Yes.
You could definitely take a trip and never meet anybody.
Horseshit! You gotta check in at the gate for your airplane. You gotta buy food. Yes, that's meeting another human.
That's a meet.
And the if you're traveling the world, the chance that an old man sits next to you and just starts talking to you, that's meeting someone, and that will happen.
You just get out of there in that case. You just get out of there.
No way. I think you're trying to bend the rules here.
I don't think that counts as a meeting. I think
I would get one human clone.
So tell me, young man, what brings you? It's like, it just runs away, dude.
I feel like I've definitely gone.
But I mean, see, the problem with it is you wouldn't experience any of that, right? Would you be happy having them come back and tell you their feelings of experiencing that stuff, having not actually experienced it yourself?
James, you got to understand how my memory works.
Okay. Okay, fair.
When I think about the experiences that I've had in my life, the way that I experience them is as telling myself a story about what I've thought about what happened, rather than like being there.
Okay.
So definitely, yeah, that's exactly the same thing to be honest.
IRL.
I mean, I still remember the time on an old Tuesday show where I said to David, I was like, "Oh yeah, that was like the time we went bungee jumping at that one tournament," and David was like, "What?" And like I almost convinced him that we did do that. So
It's true. I've gone to really extensive lengths to maintain this facade that I have a terrible memory, which I find very, very useful in social circumstances. People let you get away with all sorts of things when they think that your memory's bad, and I learned that pretty early in life. And so
because your memory is bad, though, right?
Yeah. So for the last 30 years, I've just been playing this up, and now everybody thinks that it's true, and so I get to get away with stuff all the time. Oh, it's so effective. And even now, as I'm telling the truth about this, people will think that I'm lying about it, and nobody will know which one's real.
I know which one's real. I absolutely know which one's real.
I've seen David and Maximilian's videos. He's not that good of an actor. Let's just put it that way.
Nobody will ever know. It'll be a secret that I forget before I go to the grave.
Yep. Absolutely.
Oh man. And that's it.
We did it.
We
All right,
did
everybody.
it.
Thanks a lot for hanging
In the
out.
books.
Yep.
It was a jam-packed news day, and we did it pretty well on time, to be honest. So
I mean,
good job, us.
To be fair, we probably could have went on for a lot longer for half of that shit that's on there.
That's why it's a good job, us.
Yep. Good job, us.
Did the thing.
We did the thing. Thank you, guys. Dude, go out there and enjoy some fighting games because there's a lot of good stuff coming, guys. And thanks, and we'll see you guys next week here on the Tuesday show. Peace out.
Have a good Thanksgiving if you care about
Play
that.
Oh, yeah. Have a great Thanksgiving, everybody. And tune in.
Play Halo.
Hey, I'm just going to do this. Ha ha ha. Because I didn't get to use it. Tune in to Synchronize tomorrow for all of the beta thoughts. Yay. All right. Peace out. See you guys.